Like, Jurassic Park Builder, why do people say it's good? Yes, you grew up with it, but that's about it. Right? Get rid of those glasses. There isn't much to the game. Let's say in 2024, Jurassic Park Builder is a mad game. Accept it. Hello, humans, dinosaurs. Yes, this is Lopho, and today we're here to do the great dinosaur game tier list. So, yes, this took me a while to make, considering that I had to pretty much bring out every single game I knew. So, yes, as you can see, there's a lot of various dinosaur games. So, first, we are going to start off with, the first Fossil Fighters game. Why not? I think that is going to be, like, probably a game you guys have probably seen. I think I've played, Fossil Fighters to beginning to end. It's actually the only Fossil Fighters game that I've played. And I think I would put it on, yeah, A. It's a great game. I think it's worth, you know, it's worth playing. I don't know, like, it is Nintendo DS. I think Nintendo games, nowadays, I think they would be classified under mobile games, because, nowadays, I think they made the Jurassic emulator free to play because of some lawsuit going on, apparently, so, yeah, now, technically, you can just really easily play Nintendo DS games on mobile, so, yeah, so, considering how old these games are, I wouldn't really say that these games, I don't think there's that many games where the graphics are so good. It actually, like, it has a decent fighting chance against games that are released nowadays. I mean, Fossil Fighters is stylized, especially the Vivosaurs, but, like, just not the Vivosaurs aside, like, just the backbone and everything, I feel like it's a bit too low poly for nowadays standards. But still, I do still think it is worth playing. I had a lot of fun playing it. It's just, the graphics is a bit meh, but the rest, I think it's good enough. So, next up, we are going to be let's bring out Carnivores HD. So, Carnivores, it's the PC version that came out on Steam. I think the biggest issue with Carnivores HD is the fact that there really isn't that much in terms of dinosaur variety. So, like, yeah, sure, there are some dinosaurs like the T-Rex, Ceratosaurs. Like, if a game is called Carnivores, yet the only carnivores in the game are T-Rex and Ceratosaurus, and even if you stretch it by a lot, it just includes the Pteranodon, which is really not pretty big of a stretch, considering it was more of a piscivore, but yeah, so, and the basic hunting roster only has like 5 dinosaurs. Yeah, I think I would give it a D. If you played all the games above S, A, B, and C, maybe you could give it a shot. I wouldn't really bother playing it. I would put Carnivores in E tier. I mean, the hunting experience itself is fun. It's just that, like, I wouldn't really say it would be worth it, considering that there's such a small amount of roster, which, in a game that is supposed to be about hunting various types of dinosaurs. So, let's see. The next one, we are going to go with Parkosaurus. Parkosaurus is another park simulating building game on Steam. I mean, it looks nice. Parkosaurus, definitely, the definite strength in it lies in the more high amount of customization it can provide. But I wouldn't really, like, it has the same issue with Fossil Fighters. Like, you could technically say that the Fossil Fighters and the Parkosaurus, they both have very similar, like, graphic-esque designs, especially when it comes to the dinosaurs. But considering how recent the game is, and the fact that it's the game isn't even free, considering you have to pay money to get it played on Steam, I think we're gonna give it a C. Like, it's a good game, don't get me wrong. Like, I think S, A, B, C, and even to some extent, even D, T games are, like, decent games. Like, it's E games and F games. I think there's, like, maybe 2 games in F tier, so the rest of it is probably gonna be D or A, B, or C. These are, like, average. S is, like, only reserved for the best of the best. So, yeah. So that's why don't expect me to put everything in A, because like, most of the games, I at least have a decent, enjoyable time playing it, except for, like, a handful of them. So, like, giving a D game a C or D doesn't mean it's a bad game. Like, just the same with every other one of my tier lists. It's just average. I had fun playing the game. Like, I wouldn't say it's a masterpiece, but still a decent playthrough. So, the next game we're gonna play, the next game we're gonna put, is Dino System. So Dino System is a game. Actually, we actually might bring up the Steam page of it because I don't think you guys actually remember what Dino System is. If you guys don't remember, Dino System is actually a dinosaur survival game. Why is Steam not opening? I'll just search it up on Google then. So Dino System is there we go. It is a Steam dinosaur game. So let's see, Dino System. Where's Dino System? You guys probably might realize what the game is. There it is. This is a Dino System. So yeah, this is the top-down view game that was really hardcore. Like this is like crazy hardcore, if I remember correctly. Where like you keep hitting yourself while you're bleeding, and you just die out of blood loss when you're trying to make a cloth. Like this game is probably like the hardest game of the dinosaur survival games. I think it's for digital masochists, but at the same time, the game is definitely enjoyable. It's just that the game can be a bit stressful. So, let's see. I think we're gonna put it on C. Yeah, sure, it's true. Why not? I think it's better than Parkosaurs in my opinion. Like, it's hardcore, but it's pretty fun. So, let's see. Next game, we are gonna go with... Oh, wait, I already had Carnivores. Oh, I put in Carnivores HT because I thought I didn't have Carnivores on my tier list, but... Oh, well, that's awkward. I didn't expect to have both of them. So, next up, we have, Carnivores Mobile Port. Why not? So, the Carnivores Mobile Port, free up storage space. No, thank you. The Carnivores Mobile Port is a bit different because it is not a PC game, it is a mobile game. And I would actually say, considering it is a mobile game, it is actually one of the better dinosaur mobile games out there. It's definitely, my childhood was really spent, a lot of it was spent on playing Carnivores Dinosaur Hunter on iPad. And even nowadays, with all the dinosaur games on Steam, not on Steam, but in the App Store. Like, Carnivores Dinosaur Hunter, like, mobile, like, it's a pretty strong contender even now, so... Yeah, I'd say it's an A. It's an A tier, because, like, there really isn't that many good games, when you want to play mobile dinosaur games, so... And that, like, Carnivores, yeah, it does pretty well. So, next up, we have Dino Hunter Deadly Shores. Yes, who remembers this fossil? So, yes, visually speaking, yeah, it's actually one of the mobile games I'd say holds up pretty visually well. For people who want to play Dino Hunter Deadly Shores, I would actually recommend just hacking it, get infinite energy, and just take your pace, grind through the game at your own pace, just enjoy looking at those various dinosaurs and the various landscapes. I think the game starts to repeat itself around level 10 or 11. I still remember that because one of my first live streams on my channel was actually playing Dino Hunter Deadly Shores with infinite energy from start to finish. I think it took me around like 24 hours, I think. Yeah, it was... I mean, for a mobile game, yeah, I'd say it's definitely worth playing. I would put it under Fossil Fighters. It's not as good as that game, of course, considering you can play Fossil Fighters on mobile too for free. And technically, Dino Hunter Deadly Shores is a game that has in-app purchases. So, yeah, I would definitely put Fossil Fighters above it. But graphics-wise, Dino Hunter beats Fossil Fighters. It's just that Fossil Fighters beats Dino Hunter gameplay-wise. And, you know... We aren't looking at a piece of movie. We aren't watching a movie. We're playing a game. So Fossil Fighters goes on top. Okay, I remember that game. I think it got taken down. I don't think Dino Hunter Deadly Shores got taken down. I'm pretty sure it's still in the App Store. Next up, we have the Beasts of 95,000. It's one of the games that are walking simulator games that I've bought on Steam a long time ago. A couple, I think last summer or so? Was it last summer? Yeah, I dropped into the game and see how it was doing. I was the only one in the game. So, yeah, and that is a big issue with walking simulators I have in general. Because, yes, as soon as all the people leave the walking sim, there is literally nothing you can do. You're just alone. Like, which is really a shame because, like, any other game, if the game dies, you can still jump in the game and enjoy it. Like, technically, let's imagine, like, freaking, like, goodbye Volcano High. If not a single person in the world would be playing this game, you could still have a decent experience playing the game. But like the Isle, Beasts of 95,000, whatever the hell this thing is. No, you're just alone. There's zero fun to be had. So in that case, I will give this game a genuine E. There's no point in playing this game. There's literally no point in even buying this game. I would argue. So yeah, where even is it? Where to go? There it is. E. Y, just Y. So let's see. Next up is going to be Dino Survivors. So this is I think we played this game very recently. It is the Vampire Survivors game with dinosaurs instead of vampires and zombies. Yeah, it only cost me $1, and considering it for $1, I get to see a bunch of various pixelated dinosaurs. Oh, I forgot what game I was gonna add in. Well, never mind. We'll add the game in later. But Dino Survivors, I'd say, yeah, it's a pretty good game. For how cheap it is, it's definitely an experience. I still play this game time to time actually, because storage-wise, it's easy. Price-wise, it's decent. No reason why you shouldn't. Okay, so the next game so the one game that I forgot to add in was Tiny Dino World. Yes, I forgot to add in Tiny Dino World. Yeah, I had a hunch, right? I had forgotten something. Yes, of course. How could I forget Tiny Dino World? It is literally the game that's kicked off my YouTube career. I mean, not really kicked off my career, considering I earn very little still, but like in terms of like actual YouTube stuff. So I think, yeah, you gotta add that in. So let's add in let me just add in that one file. Right, there we go. Tiny Dino World is here. Right. I just added in Tiny Dino World. There it is. Right. So the next game we're gonna be looking at is let's see, Dino D-Day. Dino D-Day. I actually don't know, because right, I think Dino D-Day, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know exactly how to feel about this game, and not because of the fact that the dinosaurs are literal Nazis, but but I think it's because of the fact that, like, I've played Dino D-Day once, and I feel like I might have joined the game at the wrong time, because, like, I think when I played the game, there was, like, no one online. But I have, like, one of my friends on my friend list on Steam, and I see that guy occasionally jumping into Dino D-Day every now and then, pretty commonly. So I'm just thinking to myself, maybe I just picked the wrong time to play Dino D-Day. Maybe the game has a decent playing still. I don't know, because I don't know how to look at how many people are playing Dino D-Day now. But let's consider that the servers are full. I think it's an enjoyable game. Definitely one of my complaints is the fact that every player has so little HP, so like you get one-shotted by pretty much anything. But yes, I don't really think but I don't know. Maybe the servers are pretty empty. But at the same time, I did see that one of my Steam friends jump into the game every now and then. I didn't really think about going after him because I hadn't downloaded the game, so I don't know. I think we're gonna give Dino D-Day a D. I mean, it's literally called D-Day, right? But I'm gonna give it a high D because I don't know how many players there are, but I feel like the game could be really fun if the game was pretty active. I think one of the reasons Dino D-Day really didn't kick off is because you didn't have skins. Like, unlike Primal Carnage, like, I think Primal Carnage and Dino D-Days should like, theoretically speaking, I feel like they should have a very similar relationship to a relationship that Path of Titans and the Isle has. So very similar, like FPS game. But what actually happens is that Primal Carnage beats Dino D-Day in pretty much every single way. And I think that's because Dino D-Day, to this day, still doesn't have a skin system. And I think that's really, like, downgrading the game's potential, because Like it's kind of like a Roblox game, if you think about it. It's just a game you just jump in and have fun. But you can't really rely on that to have an entire online game just going on and on and on. Let's be honest here. Let's be realistic here. So, which is a shame, because Dino D-Day, if the game was pretty functional, I would imagine this game would be pretty fun. So, next game is going to be Dino Run. Yes, Dino Run DX. So, I think we're going to consider Dino Run DX with the Dino Run, the online game, the one you can play in the browsers now. I'd say yeah, it's a solid game. I think it's probably the most affordable PC dinosaur game ever, outside of the Google Chrome jump game, which I actually didn't include uh, because of my rulings of for what the target audience is. Since like the only time you'd ever like play the Google Dino game is like on a PC that you don't probably own, maybe in the school library if there's no Wi-Fi. Maybe then you're gonna play like Google Dino game, but like outside of that, like I don't think anyone would go to Google Chrome to play the Dinosaur game on his own. So I don't think it's like there's really no good way of measuring how good the game is. I think I might give it. I think we're probably gonna give it an A tier for the Google Chrome Dino Jump game, considering that how accessible it is. But that's not what we're talking about here. Like, this isn't an accessibility issue. Like this is an accessibility tier list. So it's that plus the quality of the game. And for Google Chrome Dino Run, I don't know why we're talking about that now. We're talking about the other Dino Run. But yeah, Dino Run, I'd say, is going to go on A. I think it's a pretty decent, solid game. There is surprisingly a lot you can do in Dino Run DX. In fact, I still haven't I haven't been able to get all the eggs. I don't even know where all the eggs are. I know that where the Spino egg is and the Magma egg. I think I also know where the Oloro egg is, but that's about it. I don't think I know about any of the other eggs. I don't know where any of them are. I never bothered to look for them, so yeah, there is still quite a lot you can do in this game if you want to go deep, and I think that is that's a sign of a healthy game. If a game is very easy to get in, but if there is a surprisingly high skill ceiling, I'd say Dino Run. Yeah, I'd say it's a pretty solid game. So next game is going to be Collision Course. So Collision Course is actually a game that I've already uploaded a video to YouTube. I think it's gonna come up tomorrow. And believe it or not, I am actually going to give Collision Course S. This is going to be this is going to be very strange to a lot of you guys, but I think Collision Course has like it's pretty much a golden dinosaur game. I'm telling you, because it's that you guys just haven't played the game. If you play Collision Course on the version that is not the modern one, like I think the one version before this version, Collision Course is the dinosaur game that you've probably ever wished. It has, like, the horrorness of the Isle. At the same time, sometimes it can be really lighthearted. You can have a lot of fun. At the same time, the game can be actually genuine fun. I highly recommend everyone to play this game. I know it's a bit cheap. It's actually a bit expensive, I think. How expensive is it on the store page? I think it's like 10 bucks or so. So, yeah, it's like 10 bucks, though, which is unfortunate because it's a bit expensive, considering the game is abandonware. But for all aspiring dinosaur game developers, like, I like, look at this. For an indie game that I've only played a couple times on Steam, I have 4.6 hours onto it. And that's because I want to explore the majority of this game on stream, which I'm planning to. Collision Course is literally the dinosaur game that everyone should inspire to be. Like, it's really a shame. I don't know why this game became abandonware, but it literally has such a good system going on. I'm surprised it still hasn't got a cult following, because, yeah, you guys should go watch tomorrow's video. Yeah, go watch that, because it's just so much fun to play. I don't know why no one plays this. So, which is really a shame, because, yeah, this is the definition of a hidden gem, I'm telling you. This game is literally so much fun. So next game is going to be Jurassic World Evolution 2. Why not? So again, the tier list includes only games that I've actually played. So that's why Jurassic World Evolution 1 isn't actually on the tier list, because I haven't played the game. I think Jurassic World Evolution 2, I'd say, is going to be a game I'd say is worth playing. Sure, like, I wouldn't say it's A tier because of the fact that, I think it's because, like, imagine that. Like, you're building a park simulator and you have to build separate stores for foods and drinks. Like, obviously, food stores would obviously also sell drinks, right? I don't know why the game does that. And the fact of, what was it a game? Not suitable terrain? Like, that bullshit which doesn't allow you to place buildings in a neat position. Like, all of that, like, terrain issues, constant terrain issues, and, also the fact that having a part with all the species in a regular gameplay is pretty much impossible, because, the game doesn't, like, it has a lot of species, but the game itself actually can't support that many species. Even if you had just a couple of each species, the game starts lagging. Like, not in terms of frames, but some of the dinosaurs will just refuse to drink, refuse to eat, because I think the game can only handle, like, having so many active dinosaurs. But instead of just freezing the dinosaur stats, they just make it so the dinosaurs just don't eat or drink, so the dinosaurs end up dehydrating in front of water source. Like, that's a lot of issues that have been plaguing the game since the beginning. Hey, at least they fixed the issue with huge square maps. That was a huge improvement. But the fact that they still really haven't been able to work on the fact that Jurassic World Evolution 2 still wasn't able to manage the issues with all the various dinosaurs, and having some dinosaurs just starving and dehydrating in a full park is just such annoying, because, like, you want to make a beautiful park with all the species. Why wouldn't you? Like, because that's what I'm assuming, considering the only things that the DLCs give is just more and more species, right? So you would expect that the game would be able to tolerate that many species, but it can't, which is critical because it's a park builder. You're supposed to have a lot of species. So that's why I think we're gonna put Jurassic World Evolution 2 here. Under Fossil Fighters, between Dino Hunter Deadly Shores. It's a game that's worth playing, I'd say. But it's got a couple issues that the game is plaguing, and something tells me that these issues will never get fixed. Next game is going to be, let's see. Wrath of Goliath. So this is actually a hunting game that, back when I was really active in middle school, I was active in middle school, yes. Back when middle school, I was active in the Dino Toy Forum. I occasionally take a peek back then, but I still remember people talking about this game back then. Yes, it's a toy forum. We also talk about other dinosaur games too, you know? But yeah, Wrath of the Goliath was really it had a game with a lot of potential, that's true. But it was just kind of abandoned in the middle of development, which is a shame, because I think it's one of the few games that actually tried to put in like a swimming Dimetrodon, which was really revolutionary, which was really nice. It had a revolutionary thing. It was kind of trying to become the modern Carnivores, I think, which kind of failed because, yes, turns out Carnivores wasn't dead even back then, and Carnivores, the new Carnivores like HD came out, and then you also had like the game just suddenly died, and now it's pretty much abandonware. So I would say, where is it? Wrath of Goliath. Yeah, why? Just why would you do this? And hey, at least the game is cheap. It's like $1 or so. But if you have $1 to spend, just play Dino Survivors. So the next game we're gonna play, we're gonna be talking about is Fossil Fighters Champions. And I would give Fossil Fighters Champions pretty much A. I think it's a solid game. I think I'm gonna tie it with Carnivores Dinosaur Hunter, considering that yes, Fossil Fighters Champions is technically free on mobile, but at the same time there is a bunch of hoops that you have to go through, where else you just have to download Carnivores Dinosaur Hunter just on the App Store. It's simple as that. So Fossil Fighters Champions I think it's gonna be on A. So the next game is going to be, let's see, Paleopines. Why not Paleopines? So Paleopines, it's a cute dinosaur farming sim where you collect various dinosaurs. Yeah, it's a pretty good game. There's a lot of species in the game. There's a lot of things you can do in the game. Although, I think the biggest downside to Paleopines is that it compares itself to Stardew Valley. And surprisingly enough, I know I put Stardew Valley into, like, I compare it again a lot. But I've seen a couple videos of Stardew Valley every now and then. But personally, I think the biggest issue with Paleopines is the fact that it doesn't go at all into the housing system at all. Like, you can repaint the house, but the fact that you can't actually go inside the house and make your room is, I think, criminal in a game where all you do is make a ranch. Obviously, you want to design the house where the character lives in, but that is impossible, which is a shame because Stardew Valley, like Animal Crossing, every other, like farming-esque, farm kind of simulator has that. Sure, Paleopines is dinosaurs, which is, yes, its main priority point, but if I go ahead and look at the Paleopines and see that it has options to make little tables, little, like, bookshelves, you can't help but wonder, like, why can't I have a bookshelf in my house? Why do I need to have a bookshelf in the middle of nowhere outside? I feel like that's gonna be a nightmare if it starts raining. That's just the only thing I can think about. So I would say, like, it's definitely a good game, even without the fact, but I feel like the fact that it doesn't have a housing system is pretty detrimental. I would put Paleopines between Jurassic World Evolution and Fossil Fighters. I think it's more enjoyable than Jurassic World Evolution, because for Jurassic World Evolution, the only proper park you can build is with sandbox mode or challenge mode. So I think that's the big issue. Like you kind of expect Jurassic World Evolution 2 or Jurassic World Evolution to be follow-ups to Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, especially considering that it is pretty much a spiritual successor to it. But like the main gameplay aspect of Jurassic Park Operation Genesis is to make a 5-star park, right? So, but Jurassic World Evolution 2, their main thing isn't that. It's like, I don't know, it's like making a park within the story thing, where you have limited dinosaurs, you have these weirdest things you have to accomplish in the middle of nowhere. You have these weird missions too, like it's really awkward. Like, challenge mode exists, but then, like, the game isn't built around challenge mode. It's just the thing that it exists by the side. And the fact that it also has a bunch of species, but all the species don't actually appear in a campaign. So it's just a lot of awkward stuff. So that's why I think Paleopines beats Jurassic World Evolution 2 in terms of that. But the fact that it doesn't have a housing system, so I can't help but feel that the game is incomplete. Also the fact that, yeah, pterosaurs and sauropods, they were all planned, they were all cut. Like, it's a shame. Like, you could maybe have some in the background, right? Like, why not? Why wouldn't you have something like that? Or maybe you could have a system where you go up to a sauropod and it can like, you know, show you or give you like a mission or something. Like, maybe not even background characters? Seriously? Like, I think like sauropods and pterosaurs outside, like no housing system I feel like is such a big detriment to the game. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's a huge detriment, I think. So it's definitely, that's why Paleopines is on B. But I'm not saying the game isn't enjoyable. I love Paleopines. Like, S, A, B, and C, I would say are games that I genuinely enjoy. They're like amazing games. Like, D are, like, yeah, sure, why not? And, like, E and F are probably garbage, so. Next game we're gonna be talking about is going to be, let's see. Yeah, why not? Let's start off with Ark Survival Evolved. Why not? It's a pretty solid game. I think Ark Survival Evolved is a pretty solid game. Especially in the fact that it has been free once. Ark Survival Evolved is definitely, I think, the more affordable game and compared to Ark Survival Ascended, both in terms of price and in terms of accessibility. Ark Survival Evolved has much lower system requirements than Ark Survival Ascended. There's also a lot of mods, but at the same time, I think Ark Survival Evolved has a fundamental issue with its game philosophy design, which I probably talked about many times before, but the fact that Ark Survival Evolved is meant to be a dinosaur game. It started off as a dinosaur game. It became too big, and then it started adding in things and started pretending that they're cooler than dinosaurs, which I don't really think you are supposed to be doing in a game focused about dinosaurs. For example, let's take Fossil Fighters for example. Like, Fossil Fighters has mecha dinosaurs too at the end that the boss uses, but they are mechanic therizinosaurs. The Fossil Fighters, the aliens, the Dinosaurians, they are aliens too, but when they fight, they turn into dinosaur versions like Suchomimus, Deltadromeos, that look alien forms. So at the same time, they are like, yes, we're aliens, but we respect that this game is about dinosaurs, and dinosaurs are amazing. So we're gonna have dinosaur aliens as our final boss. It makes sense. For the fossil, okay, yes, technically you could say, oh yeah, the Fossil Fighters final game, you fight a giant space tadpole. But that was just the final boss. That was like a one-time thing. But in Ark Survival Evolved, you don't really have the philosophy. The moment you go into the second game, you start having a bunch of other creatures that don't even look like dinosaurs. Like, I'm not even talking about, like, wyverns. Like, maybe they have some sort of dinosaur gene inside of them. Like, I'm talking about rock golems and shit. Why does the rock golem, look like a human? Why can't it look like a Spinosaurus or like a Brontosaurus? Like, you are making a dinosaur game where you are trying to say that dinosaurs are awesome. So why would you have a stone human that is better than all the dinosaurs? Like, like that kind of philosophy, like, it doesn't rock with me. Simple as that. I just don't vibe with it. So I think we're gonna go give it I do think, even with that things aside, I would say that Ark Survival Evolved is a pretty solid game. It is just a shame that, like, there's a lot of game philosophy designs that I just don't vibe with. Which is a shame, considering Ark Survival Evolved is my favorite type of genre with dinosaurs, which is survivals. So, yeah, it's such a shame. Next game. Why not? We are going to be talking about Jurassic World, the game. So, Jurassic World, the game, is a game that released with Jurassic World. So, yeah, the game is actually really old, which makes me feel really old, because I think the Jurassic World, the game, came out, like, over 10 years ago now. Which is crazy to think about. Like, 10 years? Really? It's been that long? Jesus Christ. I might as well just kill myself. Alright, I'm that old. I'm 21, by the way. But, yes, Jurassic World, the game. I think it's a shame, because Jurassic World, the game, is... it started off as its own thing, but slowly and slowly it devolved into, essentially... Let's recycle the newest creature that has been released in Jurassic World Alive 2 years ago, and let's put it into a creature. Let's put it into a creature roaster. That's pretty much what the game has turned into. So, like, Jurassic World Alive, despite coming out way later, has a much higher variety of dinosaurs, and, originally, okay, yeah, we'll probably talk about it in detail. Yeah, you know what, let's also bring, Jurassic World Alive into this as well. You know, why might as well talk both of the games at the same time. Where's Jurassic World Alive? There it is. So, both Jurassic World Alive and Jurassic World the game, I think Jurassic World Alive, like, came out later. I think Jurassic World Alive came out with Fallen Kingdom. Jurassic World the game, came out with Jurassic World, the original movie. So, but the fact that Jurassic World, the game, has devolved into just essentially taking a creature that has been into Jurassic World Alive, like, 10 years ago. Not 10 years ago, but, like, essentially stealing a game, not stealing per se, but you know what I'm talking about. Essentially, he's taking a creature that has been in the sequel game for over a year and then implementing it into a sloppy, like, tournament creature or a VIP creature and putting it into the game. It's just pretty meh. Like, especially considering that Jurassic World, the game, like, it's supposed to be a game where it's supposed to be a management game, but all you do is essentially just fight dinosaurs, get more dinosaurs to add into a park. So there isn't really a high amount of custom ability. You can already just look at how the Gaming Beaver plays it. Like, it doesn't look like a park. It just looks like a field filled with random patterns of dinosaur paddocks. It's not a dinosaur park per se. So, like, I don't think Jurassic World the game, it really, like, it says it's a management game. It's more of a fighter and collecting type of game, which I don't know. It's pretty okay-ish, I guess. But I would definitely agree with the fact that if you want to enjoy Jurassic World the game, I would say just give infinite resources, just make a beautiful park. If you get sick of it, just abandon it. Maybe in a couple years after more creatures are released, jump pack, play the game. But if you want to play the game legitimately, why would you do that? I would say, like, Ludia games, I would say, are well known. I would say are well known if you don't start the game when the game is released. I wouldn't say it's just don't even bother with Ludia games, because it is the game absolutely, like, it deliberately, like, literally handicaps people that start later into the game. I feel like it's because, like, I mean, design-wise speaking, you wouldn't want to have a player who started yesterday to be as good as a player who started, like, playing the game a year ago. But that also means that a player that started today will never catch up to the players that have played, like, years ago, because of all these, like, limited tournaments, limited packs, and all that stuff. So, personally, that's why, like, I feel like it's a bit unbalanced. So, if you want to enjoy the game as a park building simulator, I'd say just hack it. So I would say Jurassic World, the game, yeah, I'd say C++, sure, why not, I'd say. So let's now talk about Jurassic World Alive. So, despite what I said about Jurassic World Alive being the game that came afterwards, therefore having a higher roster of creatures than Jurassic World the game, if you probably didn't realize recently, not really, if you haven't probably realized, Ludia actually, they let go, not Ludia, but the people, a lot of the people have been laid off from the development of Jurassic World Alive. you might or might not have noticed that, but you know, I'm telling you, there's a reason they don't have any more new images for updates, because they just recycle the ones that have been used years ago, because all the artists that made those like loading screen art, yeah, they are all fired. All the creature designers that made these unique designs or really cool, amazing Jurassic World Alive designs, they've been all fired and replaced with someone else. Like, sure, there hasn't been any official confirmation, but look at what the creatures nowadays look compared to the ones that have been released a couple years ago. They look so much more different. The old ones look so much better. Like, have you seen the new Apex dinosaurs? Like, do you know how boring they look? Like, have you seen the new, like, Tyrannosaurus Apex dinosaurs in Jurassic World Alive? Like, I'm telling you. Like, all the people have been fired. Let me tell you, look at this. Let me tell you the newest Apex design. Where is it? Where is it? Look at this. Look at this! What the hell is this thing? Huh? This is supposed to be a creature that is a combination of Sonorosaurus and friggin' it's supposed to have the Jurassic Park T-Rex, a Dimetrodon, and a Sonorosaurus. Look at this. It's supposed to be a T-Rex, Sonorosaurus. It's supposed to have the sailback, the T-Rex hybrid as well. But look at what it turned into. It's just random T-Rex with a random bulge on his head. What is this? Like, because all the people who made these amazing designs, they've all been fired. So, yeah, nowadays, all the new hybrids, they look like shit. Like, look at the new creature designs. They're just very bland. Like, I'm telling you there's a reason. It might be just Lopho with his tinfoil hat on, but I swear to God, there's gotta be a reason that exists. That's that way. And I feel like the majority of the reason why you play Jurassic World Alive is to see these really cool creature designs. And because they removed a lot of the cool creature designs, it's just been really boring. Even I don't play the game now as often as I did back then. Which is crazy if you think about it, since I'm a person who always plays these games. So yeah, it's a big shame. I don't know why, but yeah, I think it's a big issue with Jurassic World Alive not having those dinosaurs. I think having like cool dinosaur designs. Like, the last thing they should have kept is the ones that actually make people buy the game. Like, spend money, you know, to get the new cool looking dinosaurs. But no, let's just have a random theropod number 22. And a random apex creature that looks lame as shit, and have it like the strongest creature ever made. Sure, that's not gonna change anything, right? Like, what an absolute shame. So that's why I think Jurassic World Alive, I think, is going to be D. I think it's definitely the strongest game from the D tier list. I'm definitely gonna say. Honestly, if you just if you play the game because you like playing the game, and if you just like to collect dinosaurs, if you like dinosaurs and if you want to touch some grass, if you want to just use it as an exercise game, I think Jurassic World Alive is great. But if you think about, like, if you consider it as like an actual game, if you go deep inside of it, I think the game is rotten at its core, I'd say. So, like, even the Beaver doesn't play this game as often, so, like, I mean, that should tell you a lot. So, like, originally, I always said that Jurassic World Alive is obviously superior to Jurassic World the game. Honestly, now, I'm not so sure, actually. Sure, it has more creatures, but, like, they're all pretty meh. So, the next game we're gonna be talking about is going to be, why not? We've been pretty low. We've been getting a lot of low-hanging fruit. So, let's keep going with a very high fruit. A fruit glazed in gold, as I would say. Primal Carnage Extinction. Definitely S tier. I don't know why people don't play this game. Again, I mean, people still do play this game. There's, like, I'd say, like 60-70% of the game at the time we can jump into a full server. Like, it's pretty fun, I'd say. It's a game, again, similar to Dino Run. It is very simple to play, but it has a surprisingly high skill ceiling, which is, I'd say, a very healthy game design. It's got a lot of skins, so if you want to see a various dinosaurs, if you want to play as Rick Raptor, Primal Carnage has you covered, so... yeah, Primal Carnage is amazing. I always play the game, constantly. It's pretty much a very... it's an amazing game. Everyone should play Primal Carnage. Like, I'm not even being biased. Like, Primal Carnage is just genuinely fun. It's just really fun. So, next game, we are going to be talking about Fossil Fighters Frontier. Why not? The game that everyone says it's so bad, let's pretend that everyone has just communally voted that the game just doesn't exist. I would actually say it's actually a C tier. I don't know why people hate the game. I played it once. I didn't. Sure, I only played like the first 3-4 hours of it, but it was okay. I'd say. I think the biggest if you compare it to other Fossil Fighter games, yeah, then it's a pretty meh, I'd say. Especially considering the fact that you can't actually build your own team. I think that's a pretty big detriment, of course. But if you just view it as a dinosaur game in general, like, it's not that bad. I don't know why people say it's bad, so I'd say it's okay. So I think C, yeah, sure, why not? It's not a bad game per se. So the next game is going to be a scientifically accurate dinosaur mating simulator. Despite what it looks, it's actually a game of it's a dinosaur dating, like it's a comedy, like it's a joke game. Yes. I think it was fun. I think it's actually one of the first games I ever played with the VTuber model, and it was okay. Sure, like I'd say it's a solid D. I mean, if you played all of the games, or if you want to play something goofy, yeah, why not? Why not? It's definitely one of the games that I wouldn't prioritize putting into my playthrough list. But like, if you played all these games, if you're bored, if you want something weird to play, and it has to be a dinosaur game, yeah, I'd say D tier. Pretty solid D, I'd say. So the next game is going to be Monster Hunter Rise. So yes, the reason Monster Hunter Rise is in the game is because yes, all the wyverns in Monster Hunter are actually they are dinosaurs. So all the wyverns, they are descendants of Saurian dinosaurs. In canonically in Monster Hunter lore, all the wyverns are descended from a from a dinosaur that shares the same common ancestor with theropods and sauropods. So, you know, in our world, sauropods and Saurians, we have sauropods and theropods. But in Monster Hunter lore, there's sauropods, theropods, and then there are wyverns. So all wyverns in the game are considered dinosaurs the way you'd consider a bird a dinosaur. So hence why I consider Monster Hunter a dinosaur game. So yeah, I'd say Monster Hunter Rise, yeah, it's a game worth playing. It was pretty fun, I'd say. I think I'm gonna put it between Jurassic World Evolution 2 and Dino Hunter. I'd say it's a pretty solid game. Thank God it's a joke game, yes. So the next game is going to be, I don't know why I had to pick up a Japanese version of the game, but it is a Combat of Giants Dinosaurs 3D. So yeah, Combat of Giants 3D is essentially a light version of Combat of Giants Dinosaur Strike, which is kind of awkward considering Dinosaur Strike came out like 3 years before Combat of Giants Dinosaurs 3D. I think the only reason you'd play Combat of Giants Dinosaurs 3D over the Wii version, which is right here, is I think it's because, yeah, if you're playing on a 3DS and if you want to see 3D dinosaurs, yeah, I guess this is pretty cool, but if you want actual, like, fighting games, like, Dinosaur Strike is much better, so I'd say Combat of Giants Dinosaurs 3D goes to, I'd say it's above Dinosaur Mating Simulator, but yeah, I'd say it's a D. And like, I'm speaking as a person who probably who beat the campaign with every single species of dinosaur. I beat the Archosaur boss in every single way imaginable, with every single combination of dinosaurs possible, pretty much. And even then, I'm giving it D. So I'm telling you, I have zero base towards nostalgia. I absolutely hate how nostalgia influences people. So yeah, don't expect any nostalgia to be on my tier list at all. I'm being very hard to every game I'm putting in the tier list here. Lopho, did you get Carnivores Legacy on the list? I did I? Yes, I do have Carnivores Legacy on the list, but that, I think, this isn't supposed to be just about Carnivores Legacy. You know what, why not? Let's bring it right now. I think Carnivores Legacy is not just Carnivores Legacy, because Carnivores Legacy is just a mod. I think we have to talk about Carnivores in, well, this is talking about the Carnivores 1-2 old games, plus all of its mods combined. And, like, I think I just have Carnivores Legacy as its poster child, because it is the best one that came out so far. So, I would say Carnivores Legacy, I would definitely put it under, Dino Survivors. Okay, so you guys might be saying, what? Are you implying that Carnivores Legacy is worse than Dino Hunter Deadly Shores, Lopho? And yes, I'm actually saying that with a straight face, because I've got a lot of comments in my videos about Carnivores Legacy of how people are supposed to download this game. And yes, because believe it or not, guys, not every single person knows ModDB is a thing. So, like, in terms of accessibility, the game doesn't really fare that well. In terms of, I'd say, yeah, the videos, the gameplay itself, there's a lot of things to do, there's a lot of things to explore. So, I would say it's definitely a game, it's definitely a game that's worth playing. But the game has a lot of issues that plague it, mainly because it's a very old game. You've probably seen it in my streams often as well, where the game sometimes doesn't fit into the screen, like, turns into this weird aspect ratio, so, like, recording it becomes a nightmare. Sometimes you get this really, like, ear-piercing sound glitch that I absolutely despise, especially because I have to play Carnivores Legacy with headphones on, so it literally makes my ears bleed. There's a couple issues like that, that I think really takes away from the game becoming an A. Mainly because the hardware that the game is running on is just so old. And, like, accessibility issues as well. But if you get past those barriers, I'd say Carnivores Legacy is definitely a game worth playing. And I would highly recommend everyone to check it out. So as I said, A, B, like, they're all good games, guys. You don't have to be upset. It's just that in terms of pure, like, playthrough accessibility, because, let's be honest here, Carnivores, like, people who play Dino Hunter Deadly Shores, they aren't gonna be playing Carnivores Legacy. Like, I would argue the only people that play Dino Hunter Deadly Shores are gonna be people who don't have a decent PC. And I don't think I would risk of downloading Carnivores Legacy on ModDB, because I don't know, like, maybe 6-year-old me doesn't want to risk getting a virus on my PC. Which, actually, guys, now that I think about it, yes, I do remember that, because I think back a long time ago when Bestinslot did the forgotten playthrough of Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, I, in fact, tried to play the game as well, and my PC got a virus because of it, so maybe it's because I didn't have a lot of antivirus, maybe it's just because I got Jurassic Park Operation Genesis from a really suspicious, website, maybe. Yeah, that actually might be the case, to speak about it, because I actually don't remember getting Carnivores, not being able to play the game at all on my PC, so most likely that was actually just a virus, so. But even then, it only took me 10 years to realize that, guys. So, yeah, I would argue that, yes, Carnivores Legacy, from accessibility-wise, it's absolute hell. So, yeah, that's why it gets, it's probably the lowest tier when it comes to B. So, the next game is going to be, Fossil Fuel 2. So, Fossil Fuel 2 is, it's a horror game on Steam. I would say, it's okay. I think a lot of it, like, I've played it. The game is surprisingly long. There's a couple issues that I had with the Megalodon boss fight that was very RNG based, and the boss fight, the cyborg boss fight, there was a lot of issues with that, which I was lucky enough to overcome. But yes, there was a couple issues that plagued the game. And the fact that, yes, like, all the dinosaurs are stock models, so that's a huge minus in my book. But yeah, gameplay-wise, it's alright. I would say it's a C. Like, yeah, sure, why not? Okay, I'd say. Definitely worth a shot. Yeah, it's C. Yeah, Chops, exactly. You got me, took the words right out of my mouth. The one with the eel. Yes, it's the one with the eel. Yes, so yeah, another issue with Fossil Fuel 2 was, yeah, there were a couple non-dinosaur enemies, so that was a lot of spit thing that got on my nerves, but it was alright, it was okay-ish, yeah. So the next game we're gonna be playing, not playing, why do I keep saying playing? Is, going to be, Dino Storm. So Dino Storm is, I would say, it is, I think, pretty much, it's the flagship of dinosaur MMOs. Yes, there is one disgusting thing that pretends itself it's an MMO, but we all know that it's not an MMO. So, yeah, I would say Dino Storm is the one game that has the spirit of an MMO with dinosaurs. I think it's, like, the only game that has MMOs and dinosaurs, and they managed to combine it in a healthy way. I would say Dino Storm? Yeah, it's a C+. Like, sure, why not? It's worth playing. It only has a couple dinosaurs, but yeah, I can see myself playing the game for a couple hours. So, next game is going to be Spore. So, Spore, is a game, like, yeah, you might say it's not exactly a dinosaur game, but you can make dinosaurs in it, and you can make it so that, dinosaurs only spawn around you. So, you can turn your Spore game universe into a universe of dinosaur evolution and stuff. So, I would say, and especially the game itself, the whole basis of the game is evolution, which goes hand in hand with paleontology and therefore dinosaurs. So, I would say, yeah, I would say it's an AT game. Next game is going to be, the Jurassic Park Collection. So, that is a game, yeah, you would put Dinosaur and B tier because you love the game, but, like, I wouldn't say it matches, it doesn't tick all the boxes for B. A is stretching, Chop, that is stretching. I wouldn't put Dinosaur in A, okay, it's not better than Fossil Fighters. Right, so the Jurassic Park Collection is, I think, I would say, I would actually give it an E. You know what, let's give it a D. I would give it a D. Yeah, I would put it on D here. So, the reason I would put the Jurassic Park Collection in D is because, yeah, it's fancy. It's essentially just a fancy repackaging of all the games you can already play as an emulator. And the game actually doesn't include any, like, it doesn't actually contain a manual, or it doesn't help you with the controls, which is the main thing you would expect a retro game to be doing, because, you know, retro games didn't exactly use WASD controls. So I had a huge problem with trying to play the Jurassic Park Collection, because half the time I didn't know what the hell the controls were. So I was just stumbling around trying to figure out what the hell these controls are, and the game never tells me what the controls are. So, like, for example, I didn't know raptors could do a double jump until I somehow did a button spam combination that I don't know to this day. So that is a huge detriment. Even makes you question why the hell you would even buy this game even in the first place. So yeah, it is essentially, for those that don't know, this game is a combination of a lot of classic Jurassic Park games on Steam. So let's say, yeah, it is essentially a combination of a bunch of these retro games. So yeah, maybe, like, the only reason you'd play this game is maybe if you're like 40 or 60 years old. You've probably, if you played this game in your childhood, maybe you get to play it again. But, like, if that's the case, just use an emulator, man. You're 50 years old and you don't know how to use an emulator? Right, but yeah, like, so, like, why would you buy this game? I don't see why you'd buy the game. I bought the game because of accessibility, because I thought it would make the game easy to play, to avoid the barriers with the shitty controls, but no. That was just a big slap in the face. You know what? I'm just gonna put it in E. Because, yeah, it doesn't even deserve a D. Because these are for reserved for games that you would play if you played all the games in S, A, B, and C tier. But the Jurassic Park Collection itself, right? I'm not talking about the individual games here. I'm talking about this as a game itself. The thing you buy on Steam. So, I would genuinely, like, I don't know why people would buy this. I would say, like, there's no reason in buying this. Just play the game separately on an emulator. But yeah, like, gameplay-wise, at least it provides something than these two, so... It is definitely in high E, but not by much. Definitely not by much. So I'll go grab some water because I've been screaming my lungs out for the past hour. So we have the Jurassic Park collection in E tier. The next game we're gonna be bringing up is actually a literal fossil game. So, has anyone here played Raid of Dino? Who remembers this fossil? This game actually shut down in 2015. Yes, this game itself is 10 years old. So, if you didn't know what Raid of Dino was, is that Raid of Dino is actually a game, you know what, let's bring up some images from it. Right. So, Raid of Dino is actually a dinosaur game that was released, like, over 10 years ago. That featured, think of Clash of Clans, but instead of the barbarians and archers, you just replace everything with dinos. Yes, so the game shut down, it no longer exists. But yes, it was really funny. Instead of goblins, you'd had oviraptors. Instead of barbarians, you had Deinonychuses. I know it doesn't look like a Deinonychus, but it's supposed to be one. Instead of like giants, you had like stegosaurs and stuff. Yeah, like back then when like Clash of Clans was like an actual thing. Yeah, you would have these things called Raid of Dino, which was essentially a lesser version of Clash of Clans, where all the characters were dinosaurs instead of humans. And obviously, I played this version because why would you not? Like, why the hell would you play Clash of Clans when this thing exists? Yes, of course, gameplay speaking wise, yes, Clash of Clans would technically be better because it has a more advanced system, but we're talking about dinosaur games here only, you see. So, but how well would this game fare if it was released today? I would say, like, not good, honestly. Like, because Clash of Clans exists. Like, it is a mobile game. I'd say, like, it's a D. I would give it a D. I would give it a D. I think it's gonna be between Dino DAD and Carnivores HD. It's not an amazing Dino game, but it's an artifact of its time. And if you wanted to play Carnivores, like, I'm not talking this about I'm not even talking this from a nostalgia viewpoint. I'm talking about this game if this game was released, like, today. Like, it would still be Clash of Clans, but with dinosaurs, I suppose. So, for dinosaur lovers that love Clash of Clans, yeah, this is the game for you. But unfortunately, this game shut down, so... definitely gonna get sued. You'd be surprised, Dinosaurs, with how many Clash of Clans knockoffs there were back then. I'm pretty sure Raid of Dino wasn't the only one. I'm pretty sure there were other Clash of Clans ripoffs, too. If I remember correctly, there was something else that had, like, that was, like, spaceship themed? As well. Like, it was Clash of Clans, but with aliens and spaceships, if I remember. So, the next one is going to be, Prehistoric Kingdom. Yes. So, Prehistoric Kingdom, a solid-looking game. Unfortunately, the developers have a huge issue with, the Glupshitosaurus plague. Which means that instead of actually focusing on creating a decent functioning game, the majority of the developers focus on adding in the next Glupshitosaurus, which is, I think, going to be Elasmotherium by the looks of it. So, yeah. Which is a huge detriment, because why would you bother focusing on adding in more and more dinosaurs when the base game, like, the base park building simulator isn't even finished? That is such a stupid choice, I don't even know where to begin. If you like building parks, just use Minecraft! I guess, it's essentially if you want to build dinosaur parks, but you suck at building with blocks, yeah, this is the game for you. Wouldn't really recommend it to anyone. Like, sure, the dinosaur designs look nice, it has Nigel Marvin, but But let's be honest here. Let's remove the Nigel Marven lens. I know it's a hot one to take off. And let's look at the game from a realistic standpoint. The developers are putting their focus and resources into the wrong thing constantly. They don't really focus on, like, having creature interaction. They don't really focus on anything like that. Zero battle animations, which is surprisingly... I would imagine they would add in battle animations, considering that that's what gets YouTube clicked, and that's what gets kids to buy the game, but no, zero combat animations. They are essentially just moving around Minecraft ponds. Hey, at least even Minecraft dinosaurs, I suppose, have an attack animation, I suppose, so... In that sense, it's even worse than that, so... I would give Prehistoric Kingdom a big C-. Unless they change how the game is fundamentally developed, I personally do not think Prehistoric Kingdom will have a future. So, next game is going to be, Chicken Feet. Why do I even have Chicken Feet? Oh, that's why, because I literally copy and pasted my entire Steam library. Because the only thing I have on my Steam library are dinosaur games, okay? The only games that I have are dinosaur games, okay, guys? Right, okay, that's why I have Chicken Feet. I mean, it is a dinosaur game, but I don't know why it's here. Why do I have Chicken Feet? Like, it's a dinosaur game, yes, but, like, it's not in the dinosaur game in the scientific term. If Chicken Feet would be on the tier list, then technically Angry Birds would be here too, because I played, like, one round of Angry Birds when my sister played it, like, 8 years ago, so... Why is it here? I don't know! Right, that's a mistake, right. I don't know where you would put it, honestly. I feel like it would feel weird, so, you know what? I'm gonna put Chicken Feet into E. Why? Just why? Because I feel like, you know what? Let's put it in D tier. Why not? Right, I can't remove it, right? I can't remove it, right? There's no way to remove it, so, I mean, we'll have to deal with Chicken Feet being in the dinosaur game tier list, but... Yeah, we have Chicken Feet. S tier. No, I think no. I tried to make this tier list as serious as possible here, just for future dinosaur gamers that want to have some sort of reference. So I don't want them getting Chicken Feet thinking it's a dinosaur game. So next game is going to be Dinosaur. Yes, it's a cheap flash game that exists. It's definitely it's definitely tied with. It has a similar vibe to scientifically accurate dinosaur mating simulator, but with a much shorter playthrough time. Like, the game looks 20 years old, I'll give you that. But it's also cheap. Like, it's fun. I guess it's fun for lols and giggles. If you want to put it on the stream, I'd say, you know what? I'd say definitely it's the weakest one out of the tiers. It's like, the game isn't. I wouldn't really say it's so bad it's good. Like, there's only maybe the raptor sprites were kind of funny. The over-the-top gore that was trying to be drawn with Microsoft Paint was, I guess, something. But, like, if you want to play a game for giggles, like, there's better options, I'm telling you. So, next game is going to be a Dinosaur Fossil Hunter. So, Dinosaur Fossil Hunter is a game where you dig out dinosaurs. I remember playing this game. Honestly, I should get back to it. They also released DLCs like a year ago, and I still haven't bought the DLC because, like, let's be honest here, the game Dinosaur Fossil Hunter itself, it's a relaxing game, but, like, it's not, like, it's a game, if you want to grab a late night coffee, you can't really get to sleep, so you grab a late night coffee, you listen to J-pop and just try to scrape off some rocks of fossils. I think that's where Dinosaur Fossil Hunter shines the best. It's not exactly a game you'd play on stream. It's not really a game you'd be able to speedrun or anything. I don't even know if this game is a speedrun or anything like that. But yeah, Dinosaur Fossil Hunter, it's a game that exists. I think it's a game worth playing, but it is a very low energy game, if you know what I mean. So, you know what? I would give it probably here, behind Fossil Fighters Frontier. So, next game. You know what? Let's grab a different music, right? I've heard a boring ass soundtrack more than often. Right, let's see. Which is a good music? Let's see. let's grab this. Why not? Okay, so the next game we're gonna be playing is not playing. We're gonna be putting in tier list is going to be Battle of Giants Dinosaur Strike. Honestly, I should have done it alongside the 3DS game, but I would say the Battles of Giants Dinosaur Strike is still a pretty solid dinosaur fighting game to this day. Sure, Jurassic Park Warpath exists, but that game is practically a fossil now. So I would say Dinosaur Strike, yeah, it's a game worth playing. It's a shame that, like, it's pretty impossible to get played on multiplayer, but yeah, it's a pretty solid game. You definitely have, like, a couple rounds of playing with this game. It's definitely fun. If you manage to get the joysticks controls right, which is a bit... You know what? Let's put it in C. Why not? Yeah, let's put it on C because, yeah, getting the joysticks right on the Dinosaur Strike was a nightmare. So I think because of... Similar to Carnivores Legacy, it has a bit of an accessibility issue, so I'm gonna put it onto C. Next game is going to be Paraworld. Yes, Paraworld. The one game, the one RTS game with dinosaurs. It was a lot of fun, I would say. But I think the biggest, which is a big shame, is the fact that it's pretty much impossible to play Paraworld multiplayer. In fact, I originally had a planned collab with I was actually trying to have a VTuber tournament of Paraworld. Like, that was planned. That was in the plans, like, years ago. But then I tried out with my friend, and we couldn't get Paraworld online to work, no matter, like, what we used. So, maybe someone in the comment section might tell me how Paraworld is played online. But right now, Paraworld, it seems like you cannot play it online, which means you can just play the campaign, and you can also play skirmish with NPCs. Which is, I'd say, is a challenge on its own, but Paraworld would definitely shine the best if it was multiplayer compatible, but it's not. So, I would say it is, it's still a pretty solid C tier, right? Let's put, like, yeah, let's put it here, right? It's definitely a solid C tier game. Like, but yeah, the dinosaur designs and shit, like, that rocks. The dinosaur designs rock. Don't get me wrong, guys. The designs are amazing. It's just that I wouldn't really choose, like an RTS game that is not being able to be played online. Yeah, there's a bit of an issue if you think about that, don't you? So, the next game is going to be, Durango Wildlands. Durango Wildlands, I would say, it's a game, I would say it's... If it was released nowadays, it's a very solid game. It's actually one of the few mobile games that deliberately said they would not try to add in any pay-to-win, which is pretty revolutionary, even for its time. And I feel like nowadays Durango Wildlands might have been able to kick off better. In fact, because I think Durango Wildlands was originally planned to come out on mobile and on PC, but they had some issues, so they would only make it mobile only. But if Durango Wildlands managed up to the point where it was PC released as well, I think Durango Wildlands is an amazing game. I still do think that it's such a unique beast. Like, it's unlike Collision Course, which I think is the one thing that everyone strives to be. Durango Wildlands is just a weird, like, unique top-down view of dinosaur survival. Like, I don't think it's pretty cool. So, I would say Durango Wildlands is an S tier. Like, the creature designs, the design philosophy, again, was pretty decent. It had a couple issues, like some similar to modern Korean, like a lot of Korean modern RPGs have, which, it's a kind of like Ark, where, like, yes, dinosaurs are cool, but they would just keep adding in random shit, such as, like there was a weird time where Durango Wildlands just had this weird obsession with elephants, if I remember correctly. Yeah, in fact, instead of releasing, like, dinosaurs, they would keep releasing, like, elephant-related gear. I don't know why they would do that, but yeah, that was just, like, a weird moment. But all the gear, like, I feel like it still made proper sense. Like, as technically, even, like, the funny-looking gear canonically supposed to be warped-in costumes from the modern world. So, like, as silly as it is, they somehow made it still tie into the actual game design. So I'd say Durango Wildlands is a solid game. in fact, like, I think it would even do better if it was released nowadays, actually. So it's really a shame it got shut down. If it was released on PC, it would have been amazing. I didn't like the unit tier thing in Power World, coming from an RTS games like Age of Empires, where limits of how many houses you make. Yes, in fact, Navajo Rex that is something that I realized very recently. It's actually something that I've been realized only after I played another RTS game called Warhammer, so which is the game that we're gonna be talking about now. So the Warhammer, we are going to be in Warhammer, you technically could have like you could technically have a bunch of like low tier units. Like, sure, it's a bit hard, but you can, there's a workaround where you can have a lot of, like, low-tier units. And, like, that made me think about Power World, because they're both RTS games. And it's a shame that Power World doesn't actually allow, like, Zerg strategies, where instead of trying to make, like, an expensive dinosaur, you would try to rush the enemy with a shit ton of, like cheap units. I think that's the main thing that Power World lacks. And I didn't notice that, because the Power World was the first RTS game that I ever played. But looking back on it, I feel like that is probably a huge flaw of the game. So, yeah, I was able to play Durango for some time. It got taken down. Same happened with Jurassic Park Builder. Oh shit, I forgot to add in Jurassic Park Builder! No wonder! Oh, there's one game I didn't add in. Damn. Right. Yeah, Jurassic Park Builder, I forgot! Well, we're gonna add that in too. So, Warhammer. Where does Warhammer belong? So Warhammer... It is, we're gonna consider Warhammer with the Dinosaur mod, okay? We're gonna consider you're playing with the Lizardman faction with the Dinosaur mod installed. We're considering the game with those mods installed from a Dinosaur gamer's perspective. I would say, Warhammer is definitely a game that is worth playing. I would put it, between Monster Hunter... I would say, you know what? I would put it between, Monster Hunter Rise and Jurassic World Evolution 2. I think the main thing that keeps me from putting Warhammer in A tier is because of how expensive everything is if you want to get this set up. If you want to have the Dinosaur mod with the Lizardman faction and everything going on, you have to buy the previous game, you have to get a shit ton of DLCs. And even with like 50% off, it tallies around to like $80, $70. So, but the game itself is pretty well made. The game is huge fun. I remember spending like days playing on a session of Warhammer. I should really get back to it nowadays, but you guys didn't really... I don't think a lot of you guys enjoy watching it on stream. That's why I don't really play it that often, but... Yeah, it's a genuinely... It's a pretty fun game, so... I would say it's a B, but, like, price-wise, it's pretty heavy, so... So, let's keep it going with Jurassic Park Builder, then. Jurassic Park Builder, the prequel to Jurassic World, the game, and I would say... Yeah, it pretty much suffers the exact same issues with Jurassic World, the game. Yeah, it is stated to be a park builder, but it's more of a just watch dinosaurs fight. And unlike Jurassic World Alive, Jurassic Park Builder has this really strict, super strict hierarchy of dinosaurs, where like a freaking Dryosaurus can like one-shot a Spino, which is like ridiculous. Which, yeah, I am not really fond of Jurassic Park Builder. Never really liked the tier system. A lot of dinosaurs were really awkwardly placed. Like, I didn't get why Spinosaurus was bronze. Like, there's a lot of dinosaurs which I don't know why they were placed that way. So, yeah, I would definitely give it, like, probably high D, I'd say. Here. Like, I'm telling you, like, zero nostalgia. Like, Jurassic Park Builder an A or lowest an S. Yeah, that's nostalgia. Come on, old man, get rid of your glasses. Let's look at the Jurassic Park Builder from the game from what it is now. Yeah, there's better options. Yeah, Robinson's Journey, but I don't have a VR. Yes, these are only games that I've actually played in my lifetime. Like, that's why the old King Kong game isn't here, but freaking Rise of Kong is. Because I haven't played the old Rise of Kong. Same goes with Dino Crisis. These are all games that I haven't played. So, next up is going to be, you know what? Speaking of old man and his nostalgia glasses, let's put another spicy choice onto the list. And that's going to be Jurassic Park Builder. So, Jurassic Park Builder. Yeah, same. There's a bit of an accessibility issue. The game was... It was okay. I mean, hey, unlike Jurassic World Evolution 2, it managed to get its design philosophy correct, which is actually getting the putting a park building campaign as its main standpoint. We are also considering all of its mods, so there's that too. But even considering that, like the park building aspect, there is still a lot to be desired. Unless a mod comes out that changes how the park is fundamentally made, because there were a lot of issues I had with roads at the beginning of the game. At the same time, removing puddles of water was a nightmare. And all the mods, all they do is just add in more and more dinosaurs and just change their existing roster. And I think the game is also hard-coded, so you can't even have more than a certain amount of dinosaurs. So there's despite it having a lot of restrictions, unlike Carnivores Legacy, which has managed to break out of its modding frame and be something completely new, like the pterosaurs that can swim, fly, and like walk, like all these amazing modding revolutions, that never happened with Jurassic Park Builder. Essentially what you do with Jurassic Park Builder is just better graphics with a different assortment of dinosaurs, but that's where it ends. And like looking at back now, yes, there's a couple things that it did better than Jurassic Park Evolution, but the park building aspect itself, I'd say it's pretty clunky. So I'm gonna put it into, yeah, it's yeah, there it is. Right next to Power World. Sure, why not? I think it's C tier. So, next game is going to be, Dinopunk, the game we played yesterday, actually. Yeah, Dinopunk, pretty fun game. Unlike Volcano High and Scientifically Accurate Dinosaur Mating Simulator, I did like how how the things I choose would actually directly affect the game. So, like, it's not an illusion of choice. It actually depends. Your choices actually matter in this game. And this is like the only dinosaur visual novel where I actually felt that my choices mattered in the long run in the game. So, from a dinosaur visual novel standpoint, I'd say Dinopunk is probably the best. But, at the end of the day, it is a visual novel. So, I think I'm gonna put it between Dino System, I'd say, and Fossil Fighters Frontier. Yeah, behind behind Dinosaur Fossil Hunter. I think that's where it definitely belongs, I'd say. The game looks amazing. I love the aesthetics, I love the soundtrack and everything. But, like, at the end of the day, it is a visual novel. And I don't think when they think of dinosaur games, I don't think a visual novel is the first thing that would spring into your mind. Like, it's not like it doesn't, like, give off vibes like Paleopines, where it's like, yeah, the spin is so interesting, I might take a look. For example, if you think about Stardew Valley and dinosaurs, you think, like, yeah, you can tame dinosaurs in Stardew Valley? Now that's gonna be interesting, right? So you want to take a look. But if you play a game with Dinopunk, like, it's not like, yeah, it's a visual novel, but it has dinosaurs, so I'm gonna look into it. But it's more like a story that has dinosaurs. So, usually, dinosaurs aren't really the one thing that drags you into this game. Like, I'm more like the exception. The game is more for people who usually play visual novels, but they're like, yeah, I mean, it's a visual novel with dinosaurs. Hey, that's the visual novel for a change. I guess I could play it. I guess that is what you do with Dinopunk. I wouldn't actually say that someone who likes dinosaurs would actively search it out. I mean, it's a fun game for sure, but, like, as I said, like, it definitely belongs to sure, why not tier. So I think that's the best, that's the best placement of this game, I'd say. So, next game is Exoprimal. Yes, Exoprimal, the latest dinosaur fighting shooter from Capcom. So, yes, Exoprimal. Yeah. I don't know where to begin. Exoprimal, like, I would say it's a fun game if you want to play the game from start to finish. Like, if you're here for the story, I'd say it's worth a playthrough. If the game would go on a massive sale. Because currently, the game is really expensive. I know they are gonna change it so that the ranking system is no longer... They're no longer dumbed down to the lowest level guy. So, but before that update was planned, like, players that are actually playing the game would actively discourage new players from playing the game, because having new players in the game would actively mean that you would get the boring starting missions over and over and over again. So it's a weird cycle where new players would actually discourage people from playing the game. So where old players would discourage new players from playing the game, which is such an awkward design. I don't know how they didn't, in hindsight, I don't know how they thought this wouldn't happen. But yeah, for Exoprimal, I would go definitely for D. If you play all of the games, you might give Exoprimal a shot. If by then the game is still up. Because, honestly, I think, personally, it's just gonna be a matter of time until Exoprimal goes down. As a content creator, I think, yeah, Exoprimal was pretty fun. There's a lot of hilarious moments. It was enjoyable for a moment. But, yeah, I think that's where it ends. So, next game is going to be, Dinosaur King for Nintendo. So, essentially, imagine a Pokemon, but the combat feature goes with dinosaurs. You know, I would say, yeah, similar to Fossil Fighters Champions. I think Dinosaur King and Fossil Fighters Champions are in a very similar team. It is just a shame that some of the dinosaur fossils you can't really get by normal means. You have to cheat them in. So, yeah, there is a bit of an issue when it comes to that. But, yeah, Dinosaur King Nintendo DS, yeah, I would say it's a solid game, I'd say. Maybe it's not as amazing as Ark, I'd say. But, yeah, it's definitely worth a playthrough. So, next game is going to be Rise of Kong. Yes! I think for Rise of Kong, we are going to give it... I know everyone says it was terrible, but theoretically, if it went on sale... If you played all of the above, really? Really? I mean, it is a platformer. It is a new platform with dinosaurs, I'd say. I mean, it's there. It exists for sure. But I would. You know what? I'm giving it a high E. Yeah, like I bought it for $40. It was fun for the lulz, I'd say, but for streamings, but. Yeah, like, I can't really imagine anyone playing this. Like, look at this guy. It told me, like, 20 years to play all these games up here, right? I don't think anyone would play this many games to the point where you'd actually end up hitting Rise of Kong. Like, it is definitely, like, the last game that I would recommend playing. Like, it is, if you play every single one of these games, you've literally brought freaking Jurassic Park Builder up from the graveyard somehow. I know people are actually working on it because they're blinded by nostalgia, but things that aside, like, if you somehow managed to freaking necromance Jurassic Park Builder, and if you finish playing that, maybe Rise of Kong. But yeah, I think E would be the best choice, Chops. So next game is going to be Goodbye Volcano High. Yes. Well, we're bringing out a lot of the. Like, what the games that people consider to be bad games. Honestly, Volcano High, like, I don't know why people say it's that bad. Like, I've played it. This was, like, my proper first visual novel, considering that the Scientifically Accurate Dinosaur Mating Simulator was, like, more of a joke game. And, like, it was okay. Like, I didn't hate it. I feel like the random, like, RPG sections was just completely caught me off guard. I personally think it was such a waste of time to put that into the game. I just want to get on with the story instead of having to watch these weird-ass fantasy, like, sub-story, which is honestly just boring as fuck. I don't know why I was playing that. Like, I might as well just skip those segments, honestly. I don't like that. Like, but the rest, like, it's manageable, I'd say. I'd say I would put it, like, behind Rate of Dino, right? But, I mean, there's more to do in this game than Carnivores HD, so... Yeah, I mean, it's there. So, we're saving the best for last, guys, okay? You know I'm gonna cook with this one, just so you guys wait. Right, let's see. Next game, we are going to be putting in, yes, why not? Dino Bash. Yeah, Dino Bash. I would say, if you get infinite resources, yeah, Dino Bash, I'd say it's worth playing. I'd say it's a decent, fun game. It's pretty accessible. I think you can find a hacked APK pretty easily. The game, the Dino Bash 2 came out. I gotta play that as well. It's been a while since I played that, but honestly, do you guys want to see me play Dino Bash 2? Like, it's a kind of game that exists, but I don't know. I think you guys might want to see me play Iggy's Egg Adventure before that, but yes. So let's see. I think we're gonna put Dino Bash. Yeah, I think we're gonna put it into sure. Why not here? It's fun for a couple hours, I'd say. So, next game is going to be Dino Pets. Who remembers this? So, Dino Pets, actually, the game is technically offline. The game is shut down, but unlike Jurassic Park Builder and Jurassic World the game, Dino Pets actually made it so that the base game, Iggy's Egg Adventure, got taken down. But I have a workaround, and I do have Iggy's Egg Adventure in my library. It's just that I just never got to play it. I just never got to playing it. But yes, I do have Iggy's Egg Adventure. I think Ginkgo told me how to get the game. So yeah, Professor Ginkgo, he's a pretty chill dude. Go subscribe to him. But yes, I think Dino Pets. Yeah, unlike Jurassic Park Builder and Jurassic World the game, Dino Pets, they made the base park. Like, it's offline, so technically speaking, you can just keep playing it. If you can download an APK, you can play it. But I think the biggest issue with Dino Pets, yeah, aesthetically, it's really cute. I like it. It's got really cutesy design. But, like, except for building the park, there really isn't much to do. Which is kind of ironic. It's the opposite of Jurassic World, the game, and Jurassic Park Builder, where the game focused so hard on the fighting aspect, where they lost any sense of the actual park building aspect. But with Dino Pets, they only had Dino Park building. There was no battles. There was no, like, there wasn't even like a mini game you could do with the dinosaurs. So that was a bit of a shame. That was my biggest issue, is that there wasn't any mini games you could actually do with the dinosaurs. So it was kind of boring. So you just jump into the game, you'd grind the coins, maybe get some gems occasionally, you'd get some nice looking paths or something. And yeah, I can imagine myself in the future. Maybe I should do something like this if I don't have time. If I could just go ahead, if I get infinite resources, might as well make a really nice looking park and just call it a day. I can just imagine this just being one nice playthrough, one relaxed, chill playthrough. Kind of like Dinosaur Fossil Hunter, but just pretty much ending it there. Did you put Primal OPS? I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did. What? Didn't I? I'm pretty sure I did. No? Forgot Primal OPS? I'm pretty sure I put it in. I remember that. Why is Jurassic Park Builder below Jurassic World the game? Come on, old man. Get rid of your nostalgia glasses. Jurassic Park Builder, despite its flaws, it's obviously better than Jurassic World the game. I mean, Jurassic World the game is obviously better than Jurassic Park Builder. Like, Jurassic Park Builder, why do people say it's good? Yes, you grew up with it, but that's about it. Right? Get rid of those glasses. There isn't much to the game. Let's say in 2024, Jurassic Park Builder is a mad game. Accept it. But you gotta accept the truth, old man. Right. Times have changed. Right, next up, we have, yeah, why not? Let's bring in Tiny Dino World. Yes, it's another game that's shut down. Jurassic World, the game is pay to win. And Jurassic Park Builder, it's not? They're both different sides of the same coin, buddy. Hey, at least Jurassic World, the game, has more species, right? So, Tiny Dino World. I know there's Tiny Dino World Return and Tiny Dino World. I've played both. They are pretty much the same. So, both are pay to win, but Jurassic World, the game, is more pay to win. Joke's on you if you hack both of the games is free. If that's the case, and aesthetics-wise, they're both the same. Jurassic World, I prefer Jurassic World. They got more species too, so you can make a more vibrant park too. So, yeah, I cannot see why Jurassic Park Builder is better than Jurassic World the game. Yeah, Tiny Dino World, yes, it is a game that affected me a lot, especially as a kid. Because, hey, did you know, Rakrako, the only reason Rakrako is my channel's mascot is because, yeah, Tiny Dino World, Rakrako was a character in that game, so, yeah, Tiny Dino World. It had a very unique game design, that's for sure. So I'm gonna put it an S. Just kidding. It was pay to win. There was a couple issues with the games. I think the big issue with Tiny Dino World is I think it was like Thorntail, where Thorntail would just keep winning, so more people would join Thorntail. So in the Tribe Wars, just Thorntail would just dominate every single game from start to finish. I remember that. I still remember that. I think Tiny Dino World, if it came out nowadays, I'd say, yeah, it's a game better than Dino to Deadly Shores. Aesthetics-wise, it's definitely S, but gameplay-wise, it's decent too. But there's a couple issues with the game which made it a bit pay-to-win, and it's a bit annoying, so I think we're gonna put it on to B. And, like, unlike Jurassic Park Builder or Jurassic World the game, you can't even, like, hack it because, like, it's an online game. Hacking would definitely it would be unfair, so... Come on, at least A. No, it's B. It's B. I think it's B. You know what? I mean, do you guys think that Fossil Fighters is better than, do you think it's better than Fossil Fighters? Like, come on. Like, is it better than Fossil Fighters? You know what? Maybe. You know, maybe not as good as Spore? Yeah, you know what? Let's do that, right? You know what? Okay. Right, you guys think that's the case, so we're gonna put it in A, right? Don't tell me the nostalgia glasses, right? I'm looking at it from a very realistic perspective of the game that came out today, okay? Don't judge me. I have zero nostalgia towards the game. Lopho is a man that does not exist. That has no. What am I talking about? Lopho is a man that does not exist. Does not exist. Of course I exist, guys. What do you mean I don't exist? Right. So Tiny Dino World, like nostalgia glasses aside, I would say it is. Yeah. You know what? Let's. Yeah. Let's put it in B. Let's put it in B. Let's put it in B. Right. Why Primal Carnage is ST and Dino D-Day is D? Oh. I did actually talk about it on stream, but Dino D-Day itself, unlike Primal Carnage, where you could, like, 78% of the time, you could probably jump in and you'd see a full lobby of Primal Carnage. For Dino D-Day, I've tried to play the game twice, and I've never had a single online play with me at all times. And the fact that Dino D-Day doesn't have a skin system, so there isn't really much of a reward in terms of playing. I think there's a bit of an issue when it comes to that compared to Primal Carnage Extinction. So, yeah, which is really a shame too. I wish it was higher, but it just doesn't have enough players, I'd say. Because it has 3Ds. No, that was not the reason. But yes, I don't think for an FPS game, it doesn't have enough online players. That's what I think. So, our next game is going to be Zeitgeist. So, we played the game once on stream. I don't think anyone remembers that. The game design was cute. The dinosaurs were nice too. But the controls! Oh, the controls! The fact that there was no button that you can change the controls was so freaking abysmal. Like, there was, like, why would you make it so that, like, S is, like, going down instead of crouch? That's the one thing that I hated, because, like, yeah, you have WASD, but you'd rather press, it's easy to press control than press S. So, like, it has such a weird control, which just made the game very annoying to play. I would give it, probably a D. I think it's here, I think. I have no memory of the game or even you playing that, because everyone got bored and left before the game properly began, so yeah. That's why no one remembers me playing Psychos, but that I think Oz should remember me playing with Psychos. I think I played it with him, so yeah, so Psychos is something that we played a long time ago. I played it like once. The controls are the main thing. If they if they added an option to change controls, I'd say I would probably go into C or high low B, I think. But the fact it has just such terrible controls gets a D. I'm sorry. A run and jumper that has terrible controls does not deserve to be above C. So, next game. Why not? An old but gold, Combat of Giant Dinosaurs. A weird game where you doodle dinosaurs to fight other dinosaurs. To this day, sure, why not? So next game is going to be a game that I actually it's like the last like proper mobile game that I played, and that is Dinosaur Park Primeval Zoo. So this is I think it has the same issues with Dino Pets, except for the fact that it's an ongoing game and that the game is not dead. Like imagine Dino Pets, but instead of the dinosaurs being 2D, the dinosaurs are 3D. But again, same issues with Jurassic World the game and Jurassic Park Builder. It's the opposite issue with those games, where they only focus on the park, so you don't actually do anything with the dinosaurs, so which makes it a bit boring, I'd say. But unlike Dino Pets with Dinosaur Park, the Dino Pets you could crossbreed dinosaurs to make absolute abominations of nature, if I remember correctly. And Dinosaur Park Primeval Zoo, you don't. So I think that's why it goes on top. Dino D-Day is much better than Primal Carnage. Sucks for you. I tried playing the game and there's no one there, so... Yeah, it's sorry, man. Even if it's balanced and stuff, if there's no one to enjoy the balanced game. Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy. Like, I wish it was higher. I'm telling you, I'm not hating on any of these games here. I'm being honest. I'm being dead honest for every single one of these games. I have zero personal preferences. Everything that I'm putting in the tier list is from like my personal thing that I've played. That's why I'm not judging games like Dino Crisis, because I haven't played these. Like from experience speaking, these are all games that I've played, and I'm talking from experience. So yeah, I know maybe if I jump into Dino D-Day, if I see some online players. Maybe I might put Dino D-Day up high. Maybe up to A or something like that. The reason it doesn't go up to S is that it just doesn't have, like, the fact it doesn't have skins. I think if it had skins, it would be much better because it would incentivize players to actually play better. Because, like, you know, you have a level up system and stuff. Dino D-Day doesn't have neither, so that's why it's on D. I wish it was good. I wish it was good. I'm telling you guys. I wish it was good. So, next game is going to be, you know what? Minecraft with dinosaurs. So, I think this is a very unique thing because I think I am the only one who is in the position to judge Minecraft with dinosaurs because, yes, I'm the only one who has my mod pack with 1,200 dinosaurs. So, I'd say Minecraft with dinosaurs, yeah, it's pretty good. I would say it's probably the highest tier in A tier with Minecraft plus dinosaurs. Like, you can have an infinite amount of dinosaurs in Minecraft Dinosaurs. Like, you can constantly mod in more dinosaurs. There's hundreds and thousands of mods you can choose from. And, like, unlike Carnivores Legacy, so the base PC games of Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, the game is, like, one of the best-selling games in the world. So, accessibility, there's zero issues with that. So, I'd say Minecraft Dinosaurs is an A tier. Minecraft base game, I'd say maybe C tier. Not enough dinosaurs. Right, yeah, Minecraft, it's an OP game. Like, you have to admit, it was an OP game. So, next game is going to be ARBS, Animal Revolt Battle Simulator. Apparently they added in more mods, they added in more stuff. But I think the biggest issue with ARBS is that it doesn't have enough mod support. If ARBS had more mod support, if there was a mod that allowed you to add in more creatures of your own into the game, I think the game would be so much better. Unfortunately, that never happened, so the only things you're stuck with is trying to, like, slap in these random plates into T-Rex and pretend it's a Godzilla. That's the only thing you can do with ARBs. Like, although the ragdolling is just hilarious to play on stream, like, I think I have a hard time to imagine other players that aren't streamers playing the game. Like, if you're a streamer, play this game. It's friggin' hilarious. You can get some really god clips out of this, but, like, non-streamers? Like, it's fun, but, like, it's kind of sad, though, if you're just laughing by yourself. Such gold is meant to be enjoyed with other players. Right, I think we're gonna give it an C. So, Lego Jurassic World. Yep, solid game. Very solid game, I'd say. Let's put it... Although I do think Ark, as much as I hate its philosophy, the fact it has dinosaur survival is just too strong. I think we're gonna put Lego Jurassic World here. It's a very solid game. Like, anyone who hasn't played it, play it. Strongly recommend. Next game, Second Extinction. The game shut down recently, actually, guys. Yep, which is really sad. I'm currently working on a video essay about the downfall of Second Extinction. It's just such a shame. The game was really fun. It had a lot of plans, but the developers actually kept delaying the game on and on and on. And yeah, it never released, and it just died. Such a shame. And unlike Dino Pets, they made it so that you actually just can't play the game, even offline, which is just wild to me. So, yeah, you can't even play the game offline, so you can't even just go around slaughtering dinosaurs for fun. So, such a shame. So yeah, Second Extinction. It's abandonware now. But, if it was released now, I'd say it's a solid shooter. Pretty solid shooter, I'd say. I'd say it's above Fossil Fuel. You know what? No, let's put Dino Punk here. Let's put Second Extinction here. Yeah, I think that's gonna be more balanced. Yeah, I think that is more fair. Right. I think I enjoyed playing Dino Punk more than Dinosaur Park Primeval Zoo. Is that Jurassic World Alive in D? Yes, it is Jurassic World Alive in D. You'll probably have to rewatch the stream for yourself. There's a lot of reasons why Jurassic World Alive is in D. But what I'm saying is that if you want, if that, like, this is like considering if you go deep into the game, if you actually, like, play battles. If you play Jurassic World Alive just to catch wild dinosaurs and just touch grass, it's a great game. But, I'm not concerned, like, all these games, like, if you just want to play the game properly, like, not just collecting, if you want to battle and go into deep, Jurassic World Alive isn't really that much of a good game. Like, it used to be good. Now, not so much. So, next game, we have Saurian. Right, okay. Right, we're here. Let's spice it up here, shall we, folks? Right, Saurian. I think it's the first game here that is a walking simulator. Yes. The abominations of nature. The things that should have never been made. The walking simulators. Crime against mankind. But Saurian, you know, you don't really feel bored while playing Saurian. You do feel like playing a dinosaur game. So, actually, Saurian, I'd say it's not that bad. I'd say Saurian is above Prehistoric Kingdom. Because, you know, unlike Prehistoric Kingdom that just keeps adding in glupshitosauruses, I guess Saurian is working very, very slowly, but it's trying to get somewhere, I suppose. Maybe my grandchildren will be able to enjoy the game to its fullest, though. I mean, they say it's dead, but Shunnosaurus counter move. Unlike other dead walking simulators, Saurian doesn't require to be multiplayer, so yeah, it's timeless. So yeah, Saurian is definitely a C. If you've played everything, if you're sick of S, A, and B tier games, yeah, sure, I suppose, why not jump into Saurian and play every now and then. So, Monster Hunter World, again, it doesn't deliberately say dinosaurs, but all dinosaurs are classified as dinosaurs. And I would say I enjoyed Monster Hunter World more than Monster Hunter Rise. There's more dinosaurs, okay? It's got Tiziaku, right? It's got freaking Tiziaku, okay? Monster Hunter World wins over Monster Hunter Rise because of the fact that it has Tiziaku, okay? Plus, it has more dinosaurs in general, so... And graphics-wise, I think Monster Hunter World looks nicer. Yes, Monster Hunter Rise was made for consoles, but still, like, we can both play them on PC, so there's that. Let's see. Yeah, World is better, yeah. So, next game is going to be Ark Survival of the Fittest. Yes. So, Ark Survival of the Fittest is, I think, it's a big shame. Because Ark Survival of the Fittest, it's a competitive mode of PvP Ark that I actually enjoyed. However, they changed it so that instead of Ark Survival Evolved having Ark Survival of the Fittest, they changed it so that Ark Survival Ascended has Ark Survival of the Fittest. Which is a shame because Ark Survival Ascended is a version of Ark that is much more demanding than Ark Survival Evolved. And the last thing you want to make a Battle Royale game is to make it demanding, so that only people with god PCs can play it. So, I think that's why Ark Survival of the Fittest nowadays has probably fallen off. But back when Ark Survival Evolved had Ark Survival of the Fittest, I'd say it's probably around here. But now Ark Survival Ascended's Ark Survival of the Fittest, the game is a bit too demanding to be considered lightweight. Like I'd say, yeah, it's a bit. The game itself is a bit too high required. The system requirements is too high to be considered like a cheap battle royale game, which is a shame because the game itself was genuine fun. I think I'm gonna put it. Bob. It's actually kind of high. It's still behind Jurassic World the game. Because like it is pretty fun. Like taming dinosaurs and going up against other people. Like imagine like this is Ark Survival Evolved. Like this is Ark PvP for PvP for people who have a life. All right. Next game is going to be this game. Who has ever here heard of Dino Dominion? Who's heard about that? Has anyone here heard about Dino Dominion? So, imagine a classic JRPG, like, I don't know, like Azure Lane or like Genshin Impact, or games like that. Imagine that, but instead of like anime waifus, you've got dinosaurs. So, yeah, this was Dino Dominion. Which is kind of silly because now looking back on it, I love how there's like the search results have over-flooded with Jurassic World Dominion now. But Dino Dominion used to be a game where you had where you could get, instead of having anima waifus, you'd had Gargoyleosaurus, Kentrosaurus, you'd had Styracosaurus. Yes, which is kind of silly if you think about it because like, looking back on it, a lot of these renders are just, Dino 3D models, but really anime design, like, overposed, I'd say, versions of Dino models, but, yeah, this used to be a thing. This was one of my favorite games as a kid. Back then, I didn't even play this game. Like, I mean, I did play this game, but I had to play it on my dad's phone. I was very young. I think this game is like over 10 years old. Like this is like before like Raid of Dino. So yeah, this is like freaking old. But yeah, I would actually imagine like this game, if it came out nowadays, I would actually still say that there's gonna be some people playing it. I'm gonna say it out loud. There isn't really that much of it. Like there's a demand for these games, and Amazing Spino still hasn't been able to turn his Dino waifus into a collectible RPG. So yeah. Which is a shame, because, yeah, this game was pretty amazing for its time. I think the combat system was really weird. Like, you just slapped dinosaur cars together, if I remember correctly. But the sheer amount of dinosaurs and their collectability, like, this game was second to none when it comes to that. So, yeah, it was a pretty interesting game, I'd say. So, even if it came out now, I'd say there's gonna be an audience for that. I'd say it's a game that is worth playing. I'd say it's better than Jurassic World the game. So yeah, again, it's a game that I played way before I actually did YouTube. So unfortunately, there isn't really that much in terms of which I can share about my experiences. But I do remember there was a system where you could steal DNA, and you could pay like an in-game item to try to grab that DNA. And I remember that in the default game, you could grab an Argentinosaurus was green, but a DNA rare variant of Argentinosaurus was blue. And I really wanted that blue Argentinosaurus. So there was one guy that had Argentinosaurus DNA. So I would just constantly try to challenge him, and I would spend all my expensive like pay to get like these Dino bucks, equivalent of Jurassic World, Jurassic Park Builder. I would constantly challenge him, and I would just lose all my resources. So remember that. You can send a Leah tier list to Untamemaker. I have the tier list in my Discord. So, next game is going to be Dino Gotchi. Yeah, it's a cute, Dino Gotchi thing, that you can play. It's very cheap. It's a dinosaur Tamagotchi, what can I say? But I think Dino Gotchi would have been better released as a mobile game instead of a Steam game, so I'd say, I mean, sure, I mean, it's a nice game in the background, I guess, if you're working. It's a nice game to have in the background. You can evolve Ceratopsian dinosaurs or Tyrannosaur dinosaurs. It's pretty cute. Definitely something that exists. In the back of my mind. So, next game, we have Dino Hazard. Judging the game from a pure gameplay perspective, I think it was a pretty fun RPG. I loved how the fact that it portrayed Brazilian prehistoric life. I like the pixel art designs. I think back when I played the game like a year ago, the game was plagued with a lot of issues with where characters would get stuck and you were unable to progress with the game. I remember that, and yeah, but things aside, Dino Hazard, it was a really fun game. I enjoyed playing it. So I think we're gonna put Dino Hazard onto. I think it's a pretty solid game. I'd say it's not as good as Monster Hunter, but I think it's better than a Dino Hunter Deadly Shores. I don't know. I think it's pretty much tied with Carnivore's Legacy. I think Dino Safari is best enjoyed with the gyrosphere controls and just like it's kind of like a semi-VR game where you use the gyrosphere controls to move around while you shoot the dinosaurs. I think that's a really fun game. If you do it that way. But if you don't use the gyroscope controls, I think Dino Safari is a bit of a wonky game. But there is, I think I am the one who actually managed to find that glitch. But there is a way that you can there's a way you can actually watch an advertisement to get to unlock a dinosaur. And if you don't jump into the game, if you just close the game after watching the advertisement, you just unlock the dinosaur forever. So I was able to do that and get everything for free, if I remember correctly. And that was years ago. I don't know if they patched it or something, but yeah, if you play with everything unlocked, Dino Safari, it's a pretty enjoyable game, I'd say. With gyroscope controls, it's like a semi-VR game. It's a VR game for people who don't have a VR game. And for that, I mean, I'd say it's definitely worth playing. I'd say it's below Dino Hazard, though. Right. So, next is going to be, Horizon Zero Dawn. Why not? Horizon Zero Dawn. It's a game that you guys... Actually, I don't know. Do you guys... Okay, guys, do you guys want to see me keep playing Horizon Zero Dawn? I don't know. You guys don't seem to enjoy it. I find the game is okay. 2 games of, what? 3 games of this or just 2? Yeah, but, like, this is just everything combined. Dino Safari 1 and 2, everything combined. There isn't that much differences in these games, so I'm just gonna consider them as the same game. So Horizon Zero Dawn, it's a fun game. You guys don't seem to be enjoying it on my channel, but I've been enjoying it. I think it's worth playing. You know, I wouldn't say I mean, it's got a lot of like it's got a little knickknacks here and there. There's a lot of hidden stuff, I'd say. But I think Jurassic World, it's like Lego Jurassic World, but with robot dinosaurs, I'd say, in terms of how much hidden content there is, I'd say. It's a great game. It's a great game. So, yeah, I think Horizon Zero Dawn is a tier game. It's pretty enjoyable. So, next game, Dino Zoo, yes, the golden goose of my channel. So, yes, fun fact, all of my highest rated views, like, the videos on my channel that always get the most amount of views, just on average, on my channel, for every year, are Dino Zoo videos that I made, like, 3-4 years ago. And, like, I want to play Dino Zoo again, but it's in this very awkward position, because now my channel is focused on live streaming and making videos out of the live streams. But Dino Zoo is in this weird position where, if you stream it, there isn't really much to do, because it's much more better suited as one, like, every now and then, like, short spurs of, like, episodes. Like, regular mobile game episodes, I'd say. So, like, for that, Dino Zoo is perfect, because every day I can just unlock a new dinosaur and play a couple rounds on battles with it, and just call it a day, right? So, but that's really not something that we do on our channel. I no longer record videos, I just edit live streams and put them as videos. So, I don't know, it's Dino Zoo, it's a pretty okay game, I'd say. It's definitely my golden goose of my channel. Like, every video that I put out regularly gets like 10k views, so which is crazy. Maybe I should really go back to playing Dino Zoo, but yeah, it's just really awkward to do, you know. It's been a long time since I play games not in front of an audience, so yeah. But Dino Zoo for a mobile game, yeah, it's like it's kind of tight with Jurassic World the game. It's pretty much Jurassic World the game without the Jurassic World. So, next game is going to be, Monster Hunter Stories, yeah! I know it has a sequel, I haven't played the sequel, so that's why it's not on the tier list. I played the Monster Hunter sequel, I think, 3 years ago, and I wouldn't say it's great. It's still a game worth playing, though. It's definitely worth checking out, especially considering the fact that it's both on mobile and on PC. So, yeah, accessibility, both fun, yeah, it's definitely one of the more fun Monster Hunter games. If you don't want to, it's essentially a Monster Hunter, but you don't want to go through the struggle of playing a Dark Souls-like game. That's exactly what I was gonna say, right? So yeah, that is my opinion on Monster Hunter Stories. So next game is going to be Dino Factory. So, yeah, let's bring out all the mobile, Dino Park making games here, shall we? So, Dino Factory, is, I think, it's a very similar issue with Dinosaur Park Primeval Zoo and Dino Pets, but there's a twist. You can actually play with your dinosaurs. So, yes, you can, essentially, funnily enough, Dino Factory is essentially just a reskin of, I think, a Car Factory game, but instead of cars, they just reskinned them into dinosaurs and released the game. It's still fun, actually, so yeah, it's a pretty solid game. You can actually play mini games with the dinosaurs, so yeah, it's better than Primal Zoo and Dino Pets in that regard, because you actually do something with your dinosaurs. Yeah, it isn't fighting, but you race it with them, so I guess, you know, still competitive, right? So I think it's gonna be probably between Dino Bash and Dino System. Oh god, that abomination. Hey, take that back. Dino Factory is not that bad. Right, it's definitely a mid-C tier. Right. Okay, so next game is Pixark. Right, Pixark. So Pixark is in this really weird position, right? The game itself, yeah, you can feed them donuts. Yes, it's the game where you feed them donuts. Yeah, you're right, Car Factory. Yep, that's the one. So Pixark is in a really awkward situation, because the game itself, like, the game isn't that bad, but, like, my question is, like, why? Why would you play Pixark? If you're gonna play Pixark, just play modded Minecraft dinosaurs. And if you want to play regular Ark, just play Ark. Like, Pixark, from the gameplay things I've noticed, it's in this really awkward middle of the ground, where, like, it's not enough dinosaurs to be Ark, but it's like, yeah, it is Minecraft plus Ark, but instead of taking all the instead of taking all the positives of Ark and the positives of Minecraft, it's kind of in the mishmash between like a medium Ark combined with the it's a medium Minecraft game with a mediocre parts of Ark combined. So like it's one of those games it's actually one of the few games in the tier list which I just do not understand why you would play the game. Like I'm not actually gonna put Pixar because in AT because it's a bad game. It's I'm just gonna put it in A tier because I genuinely do not see a reason why you would play Pixar. Just play Ark or Minecraft. Like I don't know why you would play Pixar. I genuinely do not know. So yeah, that's why Pixar is on E. Why? Just why? Yeah, because of that. I don't know why Pixar is there. Jurassic Monster World. You'd think I forget about that. Here it is. Who could forget Jurassic Monster World? Jurassic Monster World is definitely one of the interesting games before I moved on into the PC phase of my life. It is a pretty fun game. Unfortunately, I don't think you can hack because it is an online game at the end of the day, so hacking is a bit of a no-go. At the same time, the game is pretty pay to win, so yeah, there's a bit of issue of that. Mainly because like there's a lot of decent dinosaurs, but some dinosaurs in this game are so much better than the other dinosaurs where there's literally no point in using like a Dilophosaurus or a Velociraptor. Like because they're small, you'd imagine these dinosaurs to be really good, like be as a good rogue scouts or something, but no, that really isn't the case. There's a definitely a strict hierarchy between the dinosaurs. So that's what I don't really like. There isn't that much rogue strategy when it comes to this game. Which is a shame because I love the designs in this game. So imagine hacking, but the game is pay to win. Yes, because like Dino Zoo, Jurassic World the game, Dino Bash, Dino Factory, they're all fun games that you can make even more fun, less pay to win by hacking the game. But with this game, there isn't that much of an option to play this. But at the same time, I did enjoy it more than Dino Park Primeval Zoo and Dino Pets, so here it is. Between Dino Punk. So, next game. Dino Dinosaur Forest. I remember this game because it's a weird game where there's a trophy called Red Panda Tits. I know there's an achievement for that, so I don't know why that exists. I don't know why, but it's bottom tier E. Because F is reserved for a very, very special game in this tier list. So you guys people who are on my channel probably know what game F is gonna be reserved for, but yes. Right, next up we have Legend Dino. So Legend Dino is a Korean dinosaur game. It's a dinosaur gacha game. So imagine a dinosaur RPG, imagine a dinosaur gacha game like Dino Dominion, but with less dinosaurs, but with this pretty cool battle thing, honestly. Legend Dino, I still do think to this day, Legend Dino probably has one of the coolest battle systems in the game. Because for Legend Dino, it has a really cool battle system where it is actually a guessing game between you and the enemy, where it is all about, because instead of using a move, you can charge up mana, or you can block, which will block the enemy's big move. So you can try to block it, and instead, like, it's hard to put into words. But what I can say is that this game has a really weird combat system, but I love it. It has a really unique combat system, and I love this game for it. But at the same time, it has a lot of weird stuff. Like, it's got a really weird direwolf. And the one reason why I stopped playing the game is because there was one dinosaur that completely destroyed the meta. I think it was the Pyatnitskisaurus? Where is it? I don't even know what it was called, but there was one dino that demolished the meta. It was a dark type dino. I don't remember. It kind of looked like this. Although I don't think it was this dino, but there it is. This one is the dinosaur that dominated the meta. And yeah, it was just this dinosaur. And the wolf was good because it was the counter to this Pyatnitskisaurus. So These two were like the only dinosaurs people would be using, and like one dinosaur of their favorite choice. Which is a shame, because there was more stuff that you could possibly be doing, but... Yeah, that was a bit of a shame. But yeah, that's Legend Dino. It's a pretty weird dinosaur, gacha game with a really cool battle system. I don't think Legend Dino was even pay to win. Unlike Jurassic World the game or these kind of games. It had, like, you could definitely grind for these dinosaurs because, like, you could get dinosaurs to a manageable growth state even without having to pull for more dinosaurs. If you just, I think you just need, like, one of each species, and you'd be done. So, you could just grind up gems every now and then, which isn't that hard. You get a lot of gems. So, yeah, grinding wasn't that hard, definitely. It's definitely an easy game. And I love the combat system. The one reason... You can actually... The game is actually still active, actually. One reason I don't play this game is because they never really added anything in. They never added in, like, a tournament system or anything like that. They just had the base campaign and base PvP. And they never bothered to add anything aside of that. So that's why, unfortunately, it's on top C. Unfortunately, despite all that, the combat system is just too good to pass up for a mobile game. So, next game is going to be Dinosaur King Arcade. Yes. So, yeah, I think Dinosaur King Arcade is, yes, it is an arcade game. It costs money, but, you know, there is ways to get around it. And you can, there's a lot of dinosaurs you can play. And the one thing that I do love about Dinosaur King is the fact that every dinosaur has a strategy. Yes, T-Rex might have the highest power and the highest health, but it has low technique. So you can use low technique dinosaurs such as Saltosaurs and Dilophosaurs to use special moves and to outsmart larger dinosaurs like T-Rex. It's not something impossible. And the fact that the game is based on a rock-paper system makes it so that weak dinosaurs with just enough brain power and just enough thinking and outsmarting the enemy, you could just win the game. So, yeah, I think Dinosaur King, it has a great balance system. If it was an online game, it would have been better, but unfortunately, it is an arcade game, and I think the biggest issue here lies in the fact that there is no random game mode. If Dinosaur King had a random game mode where they would bring in a random enemy with random dinosaurs and a random set of moves, that would have been amazing. I think that would be really cool because a different Korean arcade actually had that option where it was complete random. It had random moves, it would be a random dinosaur with random moves. But Dinosaur King never had that kind of system, so you're kind of still stuck with fighting against the same, like, 20 dinosaurs over and over again, which is a shame considering that the dinosaur roster has, like, 90 dinosaurs. So... Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. It's not in the tier list because I didn't play the game. So I think Dinosaur King, I'd say, yeah, it's a game worth playing. It is, I'd say, better than Monster Hunter Stories. I know, it might be controversial, but I do think that Dinosaur King is a bit better. Right, so, speaking of which, let's talk about Gongyeongbang, which is a Korean version of Dinosaur King. It's essentially a ripoff of Dinosaur King. You know what? Let me just show the game to you guys. It is, in fact, there was a lawsuit that happened between Gongyeongbang and Dinosaur King, and Dinosaur King won, which resulted in all Gongyeongbang machines from Japan being recalled back to South Korea. And so that's why Dinosaur King was never a thing in South Korea outside of the anime. And that's why Gongyeongbang was never a thing outside of South Korea. It was kind of a Madagascar, if you think about it. So yes, this is essentially what a lot of people know as the ripoff of Dinosaur King. But, I'd say there's some differences. Especially in the terms of the fact that there was no element system in this game. There was just rock, paper, scissors. And all the scissors dinosaurs were theropods, all the rock dinosaurs were theroporians and sauropods, and all the paper dinosaurs were hadrosaurs and ceratopsians, and yeah, Emarginocephalia, because Pachycephalosaurus was also a paper dino. So yeah, it was essentially a ripoff of Dinosaur King, but it did have a couple interesting moves, because unlike Dinosaur King, I think. Yeah, I mean, no, I think it's not unlike Dinosaur King. It's just like, I think it was a different flavor. It definitely had a taste of its own. The one thing that I did like about 공룡왕 was, unlike Dinosaur King, it had a random game mode, which means that you could technically put in random combinations of dinosaurs and fight against random combinations of other dinosaurs. So I think that was really fun because, you know, you could the game had literally endless in playability. Although, despite the game only having like 54 species of dinosaurs, I think. Yeah, I do remember the game only had 54 species. I can't count them off my head right now, but I do remember definitely the dinosaurs only having 54 because the dinosaurs were numbered with how many dinosaurs, and I think Majungasaurus was the last one with number 54, so that's why I know there were only 54 dinosaurs. But yeah. I think Dino King, which is the direct translation of Dinosaur of 공룡왕, I mean, there is actually a DS version of this game called I don't know, it's a very complicated name, but let's see. I think it's still a dinosaur arcade game that has a decent number of playability, but in the terms of that it is pretty much impossible to access. Because I think there was ever only, for the public record, there was only one arcade machine ever for sale, and I missed it. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough money to buy it. The arcade was even dirt cheap too. It was only like $200 or something. I should have bought it. It's one of my biggest regrets in my life, so that I could archive the arcade game, but no, you cannot. The machine itself is now pretty much extinct in South Korea. There's one machine that still exists in South Korea, and that is in the company of the company that owns this game. In the main lobby, there is one Dino King machine that still exists in South Korea, but that's the last machine. So you can go there and play the game yourself with the cards, but yeah, that's the last machine in the world. So yeah, it's practically an endangered species. So yeah, accessibility wise, it's pretty meh, but the game itself is very fun, I'd say. It's definitely, I think it's here, I think. The Jurassic World Primal OPS is a game I think that shut down like 2 years ago. Was it 3 years ago? I think it was something that happened a bit. So where is it? There it is. Right. So Jurassic World Primal OPS. It's a pretty old game. It's 2 years old, but it was pretty fun. Unfortunately, the game had a really bad base design, which did not allow for that made grinding dinosaurs like an incredibly daunting task. Is what I'm gonna say. Is that like for every legendary dinosaur you had to get like 50 puzzle pieces. So you had to play this game like over and over and over again. And I think the biggest issue with Primal OPS was that there was no PvP. You were essentially just fighting the exact same human NPCs with slightly different stats over and over and over again, which just completely removed the need to get a better dinosaur. Because why strive trying to get a new dinosaur when all you're gonna be doing is to beat the exact same people over and over and over again? So there was no point in grinding up for better and better dinosaurs. So unfortunately, that base fundamental game design really made the game like, I think that's what killed the game, right? But it had really nice designs, and I think we did take a look at all these designs of what the game could have been. So I think Jurassic World Primal OPS definitely does. It is definitely a better game than D, I'd say. Like, I wouldn't even say Jurassic World Primal OPS was pay to win, because I think the game itself was just fundamentally flawed. I think it has a very, I think it's pretty much tied with the Jurassic World shooter game. The non-licensed Jurassic World Mecha Beast shooter game, yes. So, next up, we have a game called Fossil League Dino Tournament Championship. It's a very old game. No game or movie is bad. They're executed shit. Yeah, I think, yeah, Primal OPS, I think No, I personally, I think, no, I don't think the execution was an issue with Primal OPS. I think the execution really wasn't the issue. It was really the fact that you just ended up beating the exact same people over and over and over again. That was, I think, my biggest flaw with the game. So, Fossil League Dino Tournament Championship. So, I do remember this game because I got this game from a flea market because I thought my 9-year-old me thought this was Fossil Fighters. Turns out it was a completely different game, but I didn't notice a difference until like 5 years later. So, which is kind of wild if you think about it, but yeah, I never actually got Fossil Fighters as a Nintendo chip. The only games that I got as a Nintendo chip were Dinosaur King, the Comet of Giants Dinosaurs 3D, Fossil League, Dino Pets, Comet of Giants, the regular version of the game, and I think that was it. I also ended up getting the Lego Jurassic World game as a Nintendo 3DS game, but my Nintendo 3DS was a German one. The Jurassic World game that I got was like an English one, so it had like it didn't have like country support, so I wasn't able to play the game, but I do have the game itself. But yeah, Fossil League. It's like Fossil Fighters, but instead of like, I don't know why it's actually called Fossil League, right? Because there isn't actually much in terms of fossil digging that you do in this game. I think you actually only excavate a fossil like twice throughout the entire game. It was definitely like Fossil League was definitely more of a JRPG than a Pokemon type game, I think. Element-wise, I think it's more closer to Dino Hazard. So, that is definitely something that was a thing. It was a pretty old game. It was actually made by the same people who made the Dino King game that was a Nintendo, who did the Dino King version as a Nintendo game, so... I mean, the game itself, I think, is pretty solid. But I think the biggest issue, I think, is the fact that I think the one move that completely screwed up the game was Last Supper. The Last Supper was such an OP move. It dealt like crazy amount of damage, and if it killed an enemy, it revived. It also had lifesteal. So essentially, it all boiled down to who could activate that move faster. So, which is a bit of a shame. Although I'm gonna tell you guys, Fossil League has a really weird tier list of dinosaurs. The strongest dinosaur in this game is the dinosaur that you will never guess. Like, it's not T-Rex, it's not Spinosaurus, it's not Giganotosaurus. You'll never imagine. You will never imagine what dinosaur is the strongest game in this game. You will never imagine what the final boss here is. No, it's not a space tadpole. It is an actual dinosaur, but you'll have to see it for yourself. But, things aside, I do think that, Fossil League is... Yeah, it ties with Dino Hazard. It's pretty much, it's a very similar element with it. So yeah, it's a pretty decent game. It's pretty obscure. Personally, I don't think I probably would have found out about this game if I didn't play it when I was a kid. But yeah, I mean, it's worth a shot. It's definitely worth a shot playing. You know, actually no, let's because like I'm actually a bit of reluctant to give it B. Because, mainly because of the fact that there were a lot of dinosaurs that you weren't able to make friends. For no absolute reason. There was no reason you wouldn't be able to befriend a certain dinosaur, but the game just said, nope, you can't befriend it. Which is like, why the hell would you not? And for some reason, they never made a cheat code that allowed you to tame, like, unfriendable dinosaurs. They never added in a forced tame option, so, yeah. To this day, I really wanted to play as the Salaphysis and the Deinonychus in the Fossil League games, and the Styracosaurus as well. None of them were tameable in the base game. And, as I said, even with cheats, you can never tame these dinosaurs. They're just, you'll never get to fight them, so, you can fight them, but you'll never befriend them, and you can never recruit them, so, yeah, big flaw. Especially if the whole point of the game is to recruit dinosaurs. To this day, I don't know why they did that. So, yeah, Fossil League is I think I'm gonna put it in C. So, oh yeah, the tier list is actually pretty filling up. I thought that it would take me ages, but yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there, actually. We can almost see the bottom, man. We're almost there, man. So, next dinosaur game is going to be Dino Rex. So this is no, this is an F, right? A lot of people say that this is like the worst fighter game to ever come out. I don't know, since I don't really specialize in fighting games. I always treated Dino Rex as a really difficult retro game challenge. So, honestly, you can literally, if you type it on Google, you can go ahead and play it on the browser. So, pretty enjoyable, very accessible, I'd say. It's a bit hard, though. I'll give you that. It is a bit hard. But I think for the people who like dinosaur games and want a challenge, yeah, I think it's worth a shot. I think I'm gonna put it between Dinosaur and Survival of the Fittest, I think. Dino Rex could have been an S tier, but the annoying Pachycephalosaurus roar made it a C. Just kidding. For some reason I remember Florida Rex. Oh yeah, that's the thing, but I don't think I've ever played that. So, next game is Oakwood. Right, Oakwood. So, Oakwood is, I think, the first proper dinosaur horror game that I played. It used dinosaur stock models, but yeah, it was pretty enjoyable. I think I remember playing this game with my lights turned off, so I was really scared as hell. Because, yeah, Lopho is a very easily scared guy, and yeah, Oakwood did his job. Unfortunately, stock models again, but it did his job. What can I say? I think Oakwood, yeah, it's worth playing. It's worth a shot. So, I mean, is it better than Power World and Jurassic Park Operation Genesis with all its mods? I mean, it's still worth playing. I mean, sure, why not? I think it's. Let's put it alongside Fossil Fuel. You know, they're both very similar games, both horror games with dinosaur stock models. Let's put it there, actually. Yeah, let's do that. Actually, yeah, let's do that. So, another game is going to be, Orion Prelude. So, Orion Prelude is an old dinosaur shooter. So, Orion, Prelude is definitely a game that I played like once or twice. The game's a dead game, although you can still play it with bots. So, unlike Second Extinction, they at least did that. I don't actually know why they stopped development on this game. I just know that for some reason, at some point, I just knew Orion Prelude was dead. People said it was dead, but I don't actually know why it was dead. So I think it's probably gonna be here. If you played all the games above, after you played Carnivores HD, you might as well give Orion Prelude a shot. Same goes with Orion Guardians of Orion. I think Guardians of Orion is actually like one of the first PC games that I played. I did like how you could switch perspectives from a top-down shooter to a first-person shooter. I did like that. And I feel like, yeah, this game is definitely still worth playing. Although if I do remember, they actually changed the soundtrack of this game. It's a very specific thing to ask, I know. But they changed the soundtrack of the game. I think the main music was really nice, but they changed it for some reason into a different music. And I remember me not liking the new menu music that they added in. But yeah, the game is still dead. The game it's no longer online. You can still play it offline. It has better has a couple better dinosaur designs than the Orion Prelude. I'll say that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much about where it ends. The game itself is both dead. It's got nice music, I guess, but that's about it. Lopho, you should play it, Dino 100 Deadly Shows. Why do you think this game is on the tier list? Go to my live streams and see the oldest live stream that I ever did. That was beating Dino 100 Deadly Shows from start to finish. Yeah, if it's on the list, Lopho has played it. So, Next game is going to be Dinosaur War. So who remembers Dinosaur War? Right. Again, it's a fossil. It's another fossil here. I don't think a lot of people remember this game, but it's something that exists. I think for half the people are gonna be, what the hell is this? And another half of the people is gonna be, oh my god, I remember this. I completely forgot this existed. So yes, this is a game where, well, you essentially just gather up people, you fight, you just beat a campaign, and that's about it. You unlock more dinos, you beat more campaigns, and stuff like that. Yeah, it is there, Dinosaur War. It's something of my childhood. It's I think one of the coolest parts about Dinosaur War is I think it is one of the first, dinosaur mobile games to ever exist. Yeah, Frog, you played it. Yeah, see, I knew someone would agree. Yes. Did you the Primal Aftermath? No, that I don't think Chops. I don't think I'm gonna consider that a game. It's not released yet. I don't think I'm gonna consider that a game just yet. Elsewise, like, if you're gonna add in like all those really badly made, like, cheap shit games as well, I think the list is gonna be a bit too bloated. So I have a couple shits here and there. Like, a couple shits. But, like, overall, I still want the games to be something that people will still notice for what they are. So next game, we have Dinosaur Battles. Jurassic Park 3 Dinosaur Battles. So this is another game, that I never played on my channel. But, back when I lived in Germany, occasionally we would, every second year, we would visit South Korea to visit my grandparents. Which is kind of ironic because nowadays we don't do that. But anyways, back to the point. Back when I lived in Germany, every second year we would visit South Korea, and we'd go to my grandparents' house. And I remember somehow downloading this game off the internet. I don't know how I did it. I don't know how I didn't get a virus, but yes, I downloaded this game. I played it. It's a one of those weird dinosaur fighting games, I think. I played it up to the point where you go visited like an elevator and there was a Triceratops egg inside, I think. It's a weird game. It's definitely one of those weird, like, Jurassic Park games that everyone forgets it existed. Yeah, this is the one. It's a really weird game where you just move around with WASD, I think. You have these 4 moves. You could, like, dodge and stuff. Yeah, it's a weird game, I think. It's definitely a weird game, if I remember correctly, so... And apparently, I didn't know that, but, you could apparently, like, do something, like, you could scan, like, dinosaur toys into this? Which I didn't know you could do until very recently, actually, so... Yeah, that is something that you could do. So, very interesting. Pretty cool. Just pretty... It's a relic of the past, even for me, because... I even have blurred memories about this game, actually. I do remember that you can't actually play as the Dilophosaurus in this game, so I was pissed when I was a kid. I remember that, though. From what I remember, though, the game wasn't that good. The game wasn't that good, if I remember correctly. I think it can go behind this. I think it can go here. Next game, we have Chronoraptor. It's an indie project of, it's an indie game, it's an indie puzzle game where you try to beat a time-traveling raptor. I do remember this game very fondly because, I didn't know that, but like after 6 or 7 months after I streamed the game, the developer of the game actually left a comment on my video saying, oh, I remember this. I think it was from like a game contest or like a school project, I don't remember exactly. But yeah, he made this game, and he said that, oh yeah, I think you like dinosaurs, so I guess why you played it. I see you had fun with it. Thank you for playing the game. I remember him saying something like in that regard, and I was like, hey, yeah, thank you. I enjoyed the game too. I do remember that fondly. So, Chronoraptor goes there. Carnivores Hunter HD. It's a mobile game. It's up there. It's actually pretty high up now that I look back on it. It's pretty high up. It's actually really high up. Maybe I should put it down a bit. Yeah, let's put it actually. I think it's because it's definitely one of those. I put it up there because it's one of the better mobile dinosaur games. Because we aren't just looking at dinosaur games in general. We are also comparing it we're also considering like mobile stuff in comparison, because people who play this game will likely never play Horizon Zero Dawn. So I think it's deserved, because it is, I think, the best mobile dinosaur game. I think. Like Dino Dominion, and I think Dino Dominion is on CT because it's a gacha game. It's got really cool designs, but I feel like there's like a lot of people might not like the gacha game aspect of it. Like Carnivores Dinosaur Hunter for mobile, it's a game. It's a pretty solid game. No reason why you shouldn't like it if you're a mobile player. So I think it's pretty deserved. So next game we have Dino Master. So, Dino Master, I remember this game. I remember getting the DS game, not on my actual DS, but as on my emulator. And I was just appalled at how bad the game was. I mean, looking back on it, the game wasn't that bad, I think. It had a weird combat system where you essentially had an illustration of a dinosaur on the top screen, and another illustration of a dinosaur on the other screen. And it would just essentially just do pow, pow sounds, and it would just deal damage. But, you know, there wouldn't be, like, any actual battle animation. And I think that's what put me off, I think. So, yeah, this is how it works. So, you would essentially have a screen of a dinosaur on the one screen, another screen of dinosaur on the bottom screen. You would have this weird system where you just go around and, like, dig fossils. I don't even remember there being a giant tortoise in this game. What? But yeah, you'd fight... dig fossils, and you'd unlock dinosaurs, and by fighting you would essentially have illustrations of dinosaurs pretending to fight, essentially. Looks like a dinosaur game. IGN gave it a pretty bad score. Even I thought back then this game was like the worst dinosaur game to ever exist. Little do we know, sooner or later, Lopho would discover a game called this. But we'll talk about this game, the game that shall not be named, pretty soon. But, yes. But yeah, you never thought this could get any worse, but it somehow did. So, honestly, even nowadays, I do think Dino Master isn't that good of a game. It's pretty meh in terms of games. The fact that you have to imagine the dinosaurs fighting each other is, like... It's a wild thing even back in my day, right? Even if I was 9 and I started playing this game, I feel like I would still have trouble playing this game. Because, like, what do you mean I have to imagine dinosaurs beating crap out of each other? Like, isn't the whole point of me playing the game to actually fight dinosaurs? See them fight? What do you mean I have to imagine them fighting each other? So, that's why I'm gonna give it an E tier. I think there's worse games, of course. But, like, this was just young, naive Lopho thinking that you couldn't get any worse. So, let's look at our last DS game that we have here, which is Dino Pets. So, Dino Pets, I didn't know that, but apparently it was made by Nestle, which is like a coffee making game. Not coffee making, it's like a coffee making factory, I think. Like, not a game, like it's like an actual factory, I think. So, oh yeah, it's not to be confused with the app game, Dino Pets 101. This is the mobile, this is the DS game, Dino Pets. So it's a weird dinosaur game where you essentially raise a baby theropod, and you try to become the world champion with it. You teach tricks with him, you take it onto walks and stuff like that. Honestly, it's a pretty low energy dinosaur game. Because I'd remember one thing, is because I think so when I was a kid, I lived in Germany. So my parents would would very often take me to various countries around Europe. I remember precisely, I think it was a trip to France, I think, where I accidentally forgot to take my DS chips. And so for the entirety of the 5-day trip, I had my Nintendo, the only things I had to entertain myself was my Nintendo 3DS and with this game on it. And I remember this game being really, really boring, so... like, it's fun if you play it every now and then, as a kid, but, if you try to play this game, like, if you just try to keep playing this game, yeah, it gets boring really, really, really quick. So, yeah, I think it's going to be, probably going to go next to Dino Master. Surprisingly enough, young me would have never imagined Dino Pets. I think it's gonna be better than Rise of Kong, though, actually. Dino Pets and Dino Master. Who would have thought that I put these two into the same tier? Young me would have never imagined that. Young me would probably put it into, like, maybe C or D. I think nowadays, I think it's an E, though. So, next game, we have RimWorld! Yes, RimWorld, the good old dinosaur colony sim. Of course, we're gonna consider my mod list where I include a bunch of dinosaurs and disable all wild animals and mechanoids. So, it's essentially Ark, but a colony sim. And for that, I will say I would give it an A. Very solid game, although, like, it's from a playthrough perspective, right? Like, for streaming, honestly, I don't know if RimWorld is the best game to stream. Considering that there are games where, the game, it isn't exactly fun to watch. I'm gonna be honest, right? So, next game, we have this. T-Rex, the King of Dinosaurs. I think I played it on my channel every now and then by literally taking my phone, like, to the arcade and recording it there. Literally analog style recording, because I don't think T-Rex, the King of Dinosaurs ever had was emulator released, because this is actually the game that is the successor of Dino King of Gyeongbang in South Korea. So you can actually still play it nowadays. You can go to a mall and this arcade would be there. So yeah, this is an arcade that it's very common in South Korea. In fact, if you visit South Korea, I highly urge you to go ahead and play this game. It's pretty fun. But not as fun as Dino King, though, and Gyeongbang. It's actually worse than Gyeongbang, because whereas Dino King used rock, paper, scissors, this version of the game utilizes not rock, paper, scissors, but like a weird match the pattern kind of game. And it's weird, and unlike Dino King and Dinosaur King, there is a strict hierarchy between dinosaurs, where one dinosaur is, like, definitely better than over the other dinosaur, which is a bit of a shame, because, yeah, I want my Dilophosaurus to be as strong as the T-Rex, but no, you can't do that, because T-Rex is a 5-star, Dilophosaurus is a 3-star. So you can't do that, no matter how well you're playing the game. You'll never be as good as a T-Rex, which is a shame, because at least with Dinosaur King and Dino King, you had, like, at least you could use, like, skills that would buff itself. So yeah, maybe it had less HP and attack, but you could use, like, skills to buff them up. But with Dino King, it doesn't really exist. That doesn't really exist. But it's still, I'd still play that over Exoprimal, so I think Jurassic Park Builder does. You know what? Is it better than Exoprimal? No, it's not. I don't think it's better than Exoprimal, right? So, next game is going to be, Dinosaur War. Okay, why didn't I put this into the playlist, into the tier list? Yeah, I think it's, pretty solid. Solid D. Right, solid D, I think. Right, next up we have Stone Age Begins and Stone Age World. Korean dinosaur MMORPGs. Yes. It's a mix between gacha and MMORPGs, if I remember correctly. I prefer Stone Age Begins, because Stone Age Begins had more types of dinosaurs. It had a Spinosaurus, it had Parasaurolophus, but Stone Age World never added in those dinosaurs, and the game shut down before it did anything more. So I think Stone Age Begins is better. I think Stone Age Begins, if it was released nowadays, I think it's probably between Jurassic World the game and Dino Zoo, I'd say. And for Stone Age World, it's worse than Stone Age Begins. I'd say, it's tight with Dino Bash, I'd say. Next up, we have this. What is this game? It's like the other version of Jurassic Monster War. What is this game called? I forgot. What is this game called? I forgot. Yeah, Dino Squad. That's what it was called. Yeah, it was called Dino Squad Dinosaur Shooter. Yeah, that's what it was called. Yeah, I think it's the worst version of Jurassic Monster World, because unlike Jurassic Monster World, where it had various species of dinosaurs, for Dino Squad, like all the mediocre dinosaurs were Parasaurolophus, Ankylosaurus, Raptor, and Carnivores. If you wanted any dinosaur other than those 4 species, it would have been pay to win. Which sucks, because the game did have a couple other species of dinosaurs, such as Monlophosaurus, Stegosaurus, and a couple others, which I can't put my finger on right now, but, yes. You couldn't pay, those are all pay to play, because, like, why not? Which is a shame. So all the games would be the exact same dinosaurs over and over and over again, which is a big minus in my book. I do think Jurassic Park Builder is better than that game, so I think that I'm gonna put it... Okay, I think it's definitely one of the weaker mobile games out there, because it is just so blandly pay to win. The amount of grinding required to get a single, like, Stego or Monlopho was way too harsh. Was it Stiggy? Okay, next up, we have, let's see. Yeah, we are definitely saving the best for last, aren't we? What is this game called? Right. I forgot what this game was called. What is this game? What is this game? They weren't really pay to win because in later updates they got easier to get. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I didn't play up to that point, probably. What was this game called? I forgot. Yeah, it's the Dino Tamers. So yeah, this is the weird game that was obsessed with giving evolved dinosaurs wings. Yeah, I'm gonna give Velociraptor wings. Not those wings. What were you thinking? Of course, dragon wings. I still remember, like that was just really funny to me. Like I get the thing with the Rexes and Spinos, but like really, you're gonna get the Raptor dragon wings instead of, you know, like actually giving it like regular wings on the arms? You know, the logical choice? No? Okay. Still remember that. It was a weird game. It really wasn't pay to play. I don't think it was a pay to win game. It's just a game where you could unlock more dinosaurs by paying money, but it really wasn't necessary, I think. I think it's definitely one of the... right now in the App Store, I think it's one of the stronger dinosaur games right now. I'd say it's... Probably tight with Dino Storm, I'd say. Maybe here. Right. It was pay to win and really grindy? Really? I don't remember being really pay to win though. Mainly because you didn't fight players, so there were no consequences of hacking. There is that as well. Oh yeah, Moses also is only available. Yeah, that's true, but it wasn't required to progress with the game. It wasn't required. You could just level up a T-Rex that you got by doing missions, I think. If I remember correctly. I could be wrong though, I could be wrong. But in terms of dinosaur app games, I mean, regardless of that, I mean, there isn't that much of a difference. It's still lower than Jurassic World the game. And it's between Stone Age World, which is pretty much a regular, like pretty much like I think the baseline mobile games are here pretty much. I guess I could put it below Dino Factory though, if you are right. Okay, next game. We have 2 games made by Stephen Allen, Raptors RPG and Raptors Online. Who remembers those games? And what if you gave dinosaurs guns? Yes, it's a weird FPS game that you could play on mobile, where you have a bunch of cool looking, funny looking raptors just running around with these weird weapons taped to their backs, and yeah, there is, surprisingly, the game is still active to this day, so yep, you can be a bunch of dinosaurs, raptors with funny hats, go around shooting stuff. Yep, that's something that happened back then, and yeah. And yeah, eventually they also made it so you can play as different dinosaurs. That was also something that they did. And then there was also Raptors RPG, which is less about guns and more about raising a raptor. I think the one thing that does separate these 2 things apart is the fact that Raptors Online, they used a Raptors model that they handmade, but Raptors RPG, they used a Raptor model that is from the Unity store, so that's a bit different. Personally, I think I love Raptors Online much more, because Raptors RPG, I don't know, I always preferred Raptors Online over Raptors RPG, because I love terrorizing people with like a phone gun. Yeah, the phone zapper was probably the funniest weapon, because there was a lot of glitches. The weapons in the game were really hard to aim, I remember that. So the only way you'd able to properly play the game was to either just use like rocket launchers to like 2-shot the enemy, because like AK-47s, like paintball guns, like they were all pretty much useless. All the raptors and all the dinosaurs are way too much health to be any use of these guns, so pretty much all boiled down to just grab good weapons in the map and just use them. So like RPGs, grenade launchers, those are pretty decent. And like I really love I love the phone zapper, because the phone zapper is like the only weapon where you didn't actually require aiming skills. You just had to go up to them and just start zapping them. Yeah, there's actually a lot of people that drew like fan art of Raptors Online and stuff. There's been a small corner of the internet that loves Raptors RPG still to this day. You know, I always wonder what got out of the egg in Raptors RPG. Did they ever update the game? Did we ever find out what actually hatched out of the egg that we got in the Raptors RPG? Raptors Online Alien gave me trauma. Oh yeah, like I think it gave like young me also trauma, pre-teen Lopho trauma too. It was just a really weird design, and the fact that I think it also like ran around with his head cut off, right? Mecha Rex never scared me, but like the aliens, those creep me out. Especially the fact because the bosses have slow health regen, but the moment the alien's head popped off, it would start going crazy if I remember correctly. And they could fly too, so there was no escaping them anywhere. Yeah, these ones. Yeah, these guys. These fellas. Yeah, these assholes. Hated those. No. You can hatch the egg and raptor egg. Yeah, you get a baby raptor, but you get another egg after that. What happens with that egg? So, but one thing that I do still hilariously remember are those like Hulkaceratopses with those tiny heads and the teeny tails and the giant Triceratops heads and long legs. It was funny. I to this day I think the Hulkaceratopses, I think they do still have a little charm to them. They're funny. They're just goofy guys. So, nostalgia trip aside, let's see about these guys. So, yeah, wait, I remember this game. Exactly. It wasn't just me, right? So, Raptors RPG, I think. Let's look at it from a mobile game perspective. So, which mobile games are indeed here? We have Combat of Giants, Jurassic World Alive, Dinosaur War, Raid of Dino, and CT we have Dino Pets, Dinosaur Park, Primal OPS. Okay, honestly, I think it's here, right? Honestly, I think it's between this. One more, right? Ark Survival Ascended. Not yet, guys, not yet, right? Okay, sorry, right. So I think Ark Ascended, I think it's a pretty solid game, but the problem is it's not as good as Ark Survival Evolved. Right now, since I have a choice between playing 2 games, I think I prefer Ark Survival Ascended because it's a new one, so it has more content. But like stability-wise, like frame drop-wise, Ark Survival Evolved is just superior in every way. If you're just gonna play a game, you don't really care about the new stuff, I'd say just go play Ark Survival Evolved. It's better. But still, Ark Survival Ascended itself is still a decent game, regardless of that. So I think I'm gonna put it here. Right. So there we go. That was everything. Here we go. You've all been waiting for. Right. First, let's start off with Path of Titans. Not Path of Titans. Prior Extinction. So, for every person who've been waiting Lopho to say, oh yes, you forgot that one other Roblox game. You forgot that Roblox game. Everything is here. Prior Extinction, this encompasses every single Roblox dinosaur game because every single Roblox game is exactly the freaking same. So, yep, this, where is it? Prior Extinction. So where does Prior Extinction go? I would say Prior Extinction, I mean, it is definitely a walking simulator. I'd say for Prior Extinction, it's the walking simulator for the common folk who don't have a PC. And the map isn't big. It isn't too big yet, because, you know, all the devs have an inflation fetish with all their maps, you know, gotta make them as big as possible. But for now, Prior Extinction is still in a playable state, I'd say. You know what? It is better than Demeter, so yeah, right. We'll. You know what? Because I'm feeling nice today, I'm gonna give it above Demeter, okay? Right. Prior Extinction, I'd say it's playable. It's a walking simulator for the common folk. So far, the map is small enough so that the people, like, it doesn't feel too, blank. So first, yes, let me start off by clearing out the air by saying that Prior Extinction, dinosaur models, they are great. I'm telling you, right? In case you guys are saying, oh, models look like crap. No. Like, from an artistic standpoint, from a Blender artistic standpoint, Prior Extinction dinosaur models are beautiful. I'm telling you. Like, they're amazing. I'm not lying when I'm saying that. Like, all the dinosaurs, they look amazing. So, there's that. I do find that they may, but unfortunately, this is not a movie, it's a video game. So, it doesn't matter if the dinosaurs actually look nice, if the game is still crap. Unfortunately, the game has a lot of issues where the game is really grindy and it's really pay to win because it's a Roblox game. Which is ironic because, that is, the developer's way of kind of working into, because it's Roblox, so you want the games to be pay to win. You want to have more retention. You want to earn more money than, like, other games like the Isle of Path of Titans. And honestly, I'm all for it. Like, I can understand people, like, Prior Extinction being more pay to win than other walking simulators. I don't have a gripe with that, because that's just the way the Roblox platform is as a whole. But then the developers do a 180, and instead of trying to fix the game for being on Roblox, they keep blaming, we have a really weird hitbox problem. Oh, that's just the way the Roblox engine is made. Yeah, so if that's, you are on Roblox right now. So right now, yes. In Rome, do as the Romans say. You're in Roblox, so you work with what you have with the platform, instead of constantly whining about not being able to do anything. But then they also add in really weird shit, such as, like, really, like, head damage multipliers. Like, why the hell would you have a head like, damage multiplier when you know the game has, like, bad connection and bad hitbox issues in Roblox? Why would you have that as a system? Heck, even the Isle and Path of Titans, even those games don't have that. What makes you think that Roblox, a game where even the developers admit where connection just sucks, hitboxes suck, why would you have that additional, like, burden on top of it? Like, there's a reason, like, the Isle and Path of Titans don't have that system. It's rules for thee, but not for me. Because, yes, yeah, I need to earn money because Roblox games are made that way. But God forbid I try to actually work within the terms of Roblox's limitations and try to do something that I can't do. So, very big issue. Path of Titans has that? I didn't know that. Well, I guess still, but the Isle and Beast of Bermuda doesn't have it, so. And see, like, people are, and then, like, yeah, sure, you added that in. Obviously, you start having problems with it, so why don't you take it out? You don't. Because yes, keep you know, let's keep blaming the Roblox overgods, and instead of blaming the developers who could probably change the system into something that fits the Roblox connection issues. But nope, let's don't. Let's just keep our let's keep a bland system. Why not? Next game is going to be Beast of Bermuda. So Beast of Bermuda is actually my second favorite walking simulator after Saurian. I'd say Beast of Bermuda, the map is small enough to have a lot of dinosaurs without it feeling too empty. But I think the best thing that I like about Beast of Bermuda is that herbivores, it feels like Beast of Bermuda, I think it's like the only walking simulator that probably nailed how it feels to be as a herbivore. You have to constantly eat to keep your metabolism. Elsewise, you're gonna start starving to death. And that's why, like, I think, like, in official servers, like, plant growth is, like, very slow. So you really have a lot of issues where herbivores are constantly looking around, looking for food. Well, I know that a lot of, like, community servers have, like, really high plant growth, so it doesn't really matter. Which, like, at this point, like, I'm like, why? Like, that's the main thing that made the game interesting, but whatever. But yeah, I do think that Beast of Bermuda nailed what it feels to be herbivore. It made it so that you have to constantly eat, which, like, the other games actually don't. Heck, even Saurian doesn't have that. And I do appreciate that, although, the one thing that I am kind of sad about Beast of Bermuda is the fact that Beast of Bermuda, I think it started the whole trend of adding in aquatic animals, which is, we'll get to that in another day, but I think that's the most dog shit thing they could probably think of, I think. But just land dinosaurs and the herbivore system in general, the fact that there's a lot of AI dinosaurs. Yeah, having AI dinosaurs. Now imagine that. I know it's wild to imagine. Yeah, imagine actually being able to see dinosaurs in a dinosaur game, except for your character. I know it's wild. I know it's 150 IQ. I know. But still, I think that's why I think I'm gonna play Beast of Bermuda. It's probably, I mean, it's better than Dinosaur Battles, I'd say. Let's do with that. I think Beast of Bermuda is between Orion, Guardians of Orion, and probably between Dinosaur Battles, I think. Like, it's got decent looking models, I'd say. I think the map could be a bit smaller. I think if the map was a bit smaller, I think it would probably be around here. But the map is too big, so I'll probably put it here. Right. So next we have a Path of Titans. I think this is probably tight with Wrath of Goliaths. I mean, it's better than Beast of 95,000, right? It's probably there, right? So, Path of Titans, big issue. They say it's an MMORPG. It's not an MMORPG. Developers are focusing on the wrong things currently. It has a very similar issue with Prehistoric Kingdom. But unlike Prehistoric Kingdom, the base game is dog water right now. Unlike Prehistoric Kingdom, where you can at least make something. Whereas Path of Titans, you get to look at a tree. So, for Path of Titans, developers don't work on anything in terms of AI, quests, story system, everything like that. That makes an MMO an MMO. They completely fail. They just completely frick up everything, essentially. Right now they're more focused on adding in emotes, more skins, more Globshitosaurus for the never-ending roster. Considering the fact that, like, the only things that modders apparently are doing are also adding in more Globshitosaurus. So, yep, instead of more actual good systems, modders, more Globshitosaurus. Hey, more Pseudoceratops with a Peter Griffin skin. Like, that's exactly what we needed, you know? Instead of trying to add in their own modded, like, AI creatures, or modded quest system, modded storyline, or, like, you know, like, quests, or maybe trying to ask the developers if there's any quests, any progress on those. No! Woohoo! More skins! Woo! That's exactly what we need! Jesus Christ. So... Yep, and don't we just all love it when T-Rexes start gathering flowers? Because that's what they did, right? Last but not least, the one game that the F tier is reserved for, the golden throne of the King of the Flies, the Isle. You go into the golden spot of tier F. Literal freaking garbage. Why would anyone even bother creating such a piece of crap? So first, if it wasn't for the Isle, this piece of shit wouldn't exist. This piece of shit wouldn't exist. This piece of shit wouldn't exist. This piece of shit wouldn't exist either. So, if this game didn't exist, all, like, pretty much one of the worst dinosaur games here wouldn't even exist. You'd have a much better roster of much creative games such as Jurassic World Evolution, Paleopines, Horizon Zero Dawn. But no! You have this! So all this needs to exist. What? No! You belong up there, right? Yes, the Isle. So, there's a lot of things I've been talking about, but that's for a huge video. Asshole developer who can't take opinions without having a temper tantrum, right? See, like, it's literally the Yandere edition, but with dinosaurs. Nothing ever gets done. It's the exact same thing over and over again. Of course, inflate and fetish on maps, there's also that. Boring-ass gameplay where you just look at trees constantly. Zero plans on actually adding in functional dinosaur AI in the future. Amazing. And to top the cherry up on top, constant releases of random ass like concept art just to feed those YouTubers. The worst game ever. I'd say like the Isle is just a disgrace. I'd even say I would go out to say that the Isle is a disgrace because it used assets. Like it started off by having like using the game of dinosaurs from a game called what was it? I remember talking about this game. Stomping Land. Yeah, Stomping Land. Stomping Land was like the predecessor to Ark. So you see how high Ark up? Our Ark is like Stomping Land. This was supposed to be something like this. Instead, it turned something into this all the way down here. Like, what an absolute crazy path those models ended up taking. Although, yeah, technically speaking, all those models are now gone. Now they're replaced with something else, which, I'm gonna be honest, doesn't look that much different. And yes, there's also that. Yes, let's keep remodeling creatures over and over and over again to an unnecessary degree when we could spend the money on, you know, actually doing some useful stuff like, I don't know, making more AI so that the empty map doesn't actually feel empty as hell. The scam of all time. Indeed, it is the scam of all time. This game, I feel like, this game itself just fundamentally shouldn't exist. Because the whole premise of the game, the reason everyone likes this game is because it's the game where you play as a dinosaur. But everything just boils away if you just take a moment and think about it for 30 seconds. What do dinosaurs do? Eat, sleep, and shit. They're animals! What did you expect? Now, try to make that into a game that is interesting. Yeah, you've got a big problem in your hands. Especially if you don't want to add in any wild creature AI in a giant-ass map. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Wow. So, yeah. It opened a much too big rabbit hole for the world to handle. And if this game didn't exist, Roblox dinosaur games would look so much nicer instead of having the exact same shitty walking simulator over and over again. Like, I wouldn't really call the Isle a scam. I mean, it does what it does. Like, I wouldn't really call it a scam, but it's quite underwhelming for a game. I don't know what the hype of this game is either. So, yeah, I mean, Dinosaur's a prehistoric adventure that exists, but we haven't played this game, so if I would put this into the tier list, that would be cheating, so. I will actually just put it on C, mid-C, not mid-C, maybe, I genuinely don't know where to put it. I might just put it alongside Chicken Feet then. So yeah, I think that is going to be the list. But yes, I do think that the Isle is a mistake. It should have never been created. It created a huge downward spiral of dinosaur games. No longer do people actually want creative, fun games. They just want the next walking simulator. So yep, pretty sad. If that's why I just can't handle the Isle. It's not like the Isle even does that well. Like, they still haven't added in wild creature AI. Again, like, no wild creature AI, no game. That's my rule. If you're gonna play as a dinosaur in a giant-ass open map with only about a handful of players, and if you don't try to add in wild creature AI that actually acts like an animal instead of a screaming animal wanting to be killed, the game is not a game. It's a walking simulator. So, yeah, that is going to be it for today. So, yeah, what a wild goose ride. So, I know there's gonna be some things that people might find different, and that's why I'd say, yeah, I'm gonna post a link in the comment section, and you guys can make your own tier list. And honestly, if you guys can put the isle on the S tier. Like, good job. Like, I don't care. Like, this is, I think, my opinion to for a dinosaur gamer who wants to play dinosaur games. Like, what game should I play if I want to play a dinosaur game? And I would recommend these games. So this is just my opinion, just my introduction to dinosaur games. So if anyone disagrees with this, good for you. Everyone can have an opinion. That's what I think. So that's my opinion. And if people say that, oh, but Lopho, I love staring at trees for 10 hours. I love walking around in circles for miles and miles on end without meeting a single living person. What do you mean? I'm a digital masochist. For those people, good for you. I mean, I'm not blaming you for liking the Isle of Path of Titans or anything. It's just that I just can't stand these games, and if you like them, good for you. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a like. If you don't forget to subscribe. No sour feelings to everyone here. We're just trying to sort out some cool dinosaur games and talking about them. So yeah, it was really fun taking a memory trip down the line, looking at all these amazing and crappy dinosaur games that we've seen over time. And yeah, I think that is going to be it. So, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, may the Jurassic Spirit with you. Bye-bye.